paradise, and that's why, people say, well, if you don't like it, why don't you get out of here? I do. I love the climate, okay? But it's frustrating to live in a community that's got the potential to be everything this one does and see it be such a horse and buggy town. It's almost the year 2000. How is it possible for a community, I'm talking about Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, 4 million people, okay, one of the large markets in the country, a major market, how is it possible for this to still be a seasonal town? Would you tell me that? How is it possible? No answer.
There is no answer.
No, there's no answer because, again, the politicians won't respond to it because none of them's got the balls to say this is crazy. What they do is they help to perpetuate it. They help to make it worse. They cater to it. I'll tell you what would solve a lot of our problems. We ought to have a 10-year period in which no politician can run again and no incumbent can run for re-election. Then you'd see some changes. Instead of these little empire builders, the Barry Schreibers who suddenly have a political awakening and change party because they find that there were a lot of Cubans in their, in Dade County and they need their votes, so all of a sudden they become good little Republicans. The same people who were endorsing Ted Kennedy in 1980 now are good Republicans. And instead of being empire builders and worrying about their $6,000 a year jobs that they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars of other people's money, or in some cases millions of dollars in the mayor elections, you have to really wonder about that, don't you? Why somebody would spend, say, $1 million to get a job that pays $6,000 a year?
That's perpetual
a real
question.
ponderous question.
In all levels of politics.
Yeah, exactly. Millions of dollars of other people's money to get a job that pays $60,000, $80,000, $6,000. Even a president only makes $200,000.
That's right. Some pay $1 a year. Some jobs. God.
Yeah, you have to really
question.
wonder. It's an ego trip. It's a power base. It's an open door to every kind of scam and every kind of rip-off. How many people, like Lyndon Johnson, he came into office, he was basically a schlepper. When he died, he left millions. He owned radio stations, you name it. Multi-millionaire. And I thought all during that time he was supposed to be the president. Of course, we would have been a lot better off if he wouldn't have been, but that's another story. He was busy sending American kids to be killed for 5 years. He was too busy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just astonishing what this country is becoming, and nobody cares. Just give us Mort Downey Jr. and give us Geraldo and give us Sally Jesse and give us Glow Wrestling. It's got to stop somewhere, for crying out loud. There got to be some things that count for something, don't there? Life isn't just one big escape. There's got to be some kind of meaning or substance to your life. But not in this community, man. Hey, we're used to it. We don't give a damn. Just keep out those foreigners, man, and anybody speaks a foreign language here, screw them, But, that's a terrific solution to the problem. It's unbelievable. It really is. And now all of a sudden, in fact, was that in the Herald that you opened all those pages?
Yeah,
the Herald.
Incredible.
Well, first of all, let's take a look, okay? This is the middle. This is Tuesday. It is right in the middle of Super Bowl week, okay? And, of course, we know because we are your Super Bowl super host station, in case Tom Jacob forgets. Front page, full-color pictures. How often do they have full-color pictures of Miami on the front page, okay?
I like that.
Police chase sparks violence. Overtown melee erupts after motorcyclist dies. Isn't it interesting? Arthur McDuffie was on a motorcycle.
Isn't that coincidence, I guess?
Now, it's just a coincidence, but I only mention it in passing because we have no details whatsoever of what really transpired, whether this guy was about to hit the cop who wound up shooting or what went on there. Something obviously happened that triggered the shooting. And then you open it up, and after you get through the Jordan Marsh and Burdines ads...
Page 13. That's the incredible pages, 12 and 13.
And isn't it ironic? Here's a big thing about Jackson rips Reagan and Martin Luther King rights. Martin Luther King is turning over in his grave, okay? Here we go, 13A, big pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Fire, smolder, police cars, bodies, rocks, gunfire. Disturbance erupts after police chase. 6 schools closed today. Why the black community was tense. And all the recollections of the Liberty City riots back in here again, too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and listen to some of the comments. Community leaders.
Oh, those are good, yeah.
Yeah, Dorothy Weaver, former president of the Miami Chamber of Commerce. And you know how much I love those Chamber of Commerce types. They'll tell you the truth anytime, boy. They'll really let you know what's going on. Dorothy says, obviously it's a very unfortunate thing for the image of the community because single events tend to get a tremendous amount of media attention. Single events, as though this is some kind of an isolated event that doesn't occur here very often. We don't really have rampant drug problems in this community. We don't really have corrupt police. We don't really have a terrible tension between the police and the black community and other segments of the community. We don't really have refugees pouring in on buses. We don't really have people living on the streets. It's just a single event that the media gets excited about. Right, Dorothy? Brilliant. Kerry Meeks, state senator, says, as I rode today in the Martin Luther King parade, young black people were shouting at me about how they saw Nicaraguans being hired for $5 an hour, and they were yelling, why can't you get me a job? You know, the attitude, see, that's another reason, another big reason why the so-called black community in South Florida is so much different from black communities in Atlanta or in St. Louis or in Detroit or in Boston or in most of the country. Because we got a real bad attitude that exists in much of the black community here in South Florida. And I'm not saying that these people haven't been suppressed because they have something fierce in this community. But after a while, you can't keep pointing the finger at other people and blaming somebody else for bad attitudes. Walking around with a ghetto blaster on your shoulder with a jive-ass attitude isn't the solution to the problem in the black community, okay? And standing by and watching drug dealing going on rampantly in Overtown and Liberty City on every street corner, and I've been talking about this for the last 7 years, and it's still just as bad as it ever was, that isn't the solution to the problem either. And just sitting by idly and keeping your mouth shut because you're afraid. Reggie Williams, Bengals linebacker, member of the Cincinnati City Council, who obviously is a great American sociologist, says, it concerns me that it happened on the celebration of Martin Luther King's birthday. It points out that we still need to work more together.
Oh.
There's a very profound statement by Reggie Williams. I wonder why they didn't ask Reggie Jackson or Michael Jackson. Oh, and Sergio Pereira, the former county manager, in his infinite wisdom, a brilliant man, who will sell you a suit any day of the week. Sergio says, a lot of us got involved and put a lot of effort into the Super Bowl because we felt it was a great opportunity to revive the image of South Florida and Miami. Now this. Hopefully it'll just, listen to this line. This is the greatest line in the history of Miami. This is even better than what that idiot Maurice Ferre said a few years ago about, hey, you know, it may not be great, but we don't have to worry about the recession because we got the drug economy going on here. Everybody's got suitcases full of money. This is even better than that. Sergio says, hopefully it'll be reported just as a crime incident.
Oh, God.
And this is on a page, and right next to his quote is a picture of the burning Channel 6 staff car. And above it, here are the police, and on the opposite page, here are all the smoke and the fire smoldering and parts of Overtown burning. Yeah, just as another little incident. Okay, just a little crime. See what I mean? This is what goes on in this community. Let's just cover it up. Let's just pretend it's just an isolated thing. It's tragic. It's unfortunate. It's not really part of this community. We're a world-class city. God, we got the Metro Rail. It cost $1 billion. Nobody's on it, but it cost $1 billion. We got that new train. We got I-95 is, tied up for the next 20 years. It's tremendous. They're still lifting the bridge with a crane down here. I got the bridge before I came to work this morning. Everything was fine. I get here, and they're still raising it with a crane. How many years will that go on? This is a horse and buggy town, and the technology. You can't complain about the technology in Florida because there isn't any, okay?
Have you experienced a thing of people who live in Broward or Palm Beach, or say Broward, and they think, well, it's Miami.
They're oblivious, yeah. Oh, it's only in Miami. Yeah. Oh, it's down there. It's down there. Oh, sure.
Have you had the experience
for years
that I have of friends of mine in Fort Lauderdale who come up to me and say, gee, there must have been a bunch of people from Miami up here
because we know Fort Lauderdale's in great shape.
Yeah, we
know the
Spanish
traffic.
being spoken.
We know the traffic is terrific in Fort Lauderdale, and we know that there are a lot of young people there and that the beach is thriving and tourism is going wild in Fort Lauderdale. And another great thing about the week, this caps it all off. We talked about it last Friday. Big article in the paper about the hotel rates, about all these little hotels ripping the daylights out of the public for the Super Bowl week, okay? Gouging the prices. And, of course, this is the season when they already have their highest rates between December and April.
Already.
But they've jacked those up again because they know there's only so many rooms at the inn. So they'll get whatever the traffic will bear. Miami Nice. Oh, yeah, Miami Nice. All these simplistic, stupid, moronic campaigns, all these yo-yo Chamber of Commerce types. You people make me want to puke, okay? You're not a solution to the problem. You people are a big part of the goddamn problem. Because you want to keep sweeping everything under the carpet, and you think by coming up with some cute cliche or some stupid poster, you think that's going to change the toilet that we're living in here. Just go on a plane trip somewhere and tell somebody you're from Miami, and they look at you like, oh, my God, and you're still alive?
Exactly. Upstate, too, that happens. Wow.
Yeah. Just tell anybody you're from Miami, and they just cannot believe that you still have all your limbs and are in one piece.
That's a fact.
But, it's just the image. It's just the perception. It's not the reality. No, this stuff here was not the reality. And all those kids that got their brains gouged out with bottles, that was not reality. That was just the perception. I'll tell you, the one thing that's lacking in this town more than anything else, very simple word, balls. 10:51 at WIOD. I want to... Oh, excuse me. Yeah, that cart's a little muddy, Roger, but that's, Scott's under a lot of pressure in there. It is Super Bowl week, and we are, after all, the Super Bowl Superhost station. It's 10:55 at WIOD. And I could ramble on here the entire 4 hours today. I really could. It's one of those rare days. It's kind of like a throwback to the old days, but...
Well, you finally got your act together?
Yeah, I got my act together, and I'm doing serious, heavy, topical talk today. But, I mean... life is more than just fun and games. You have to be a multi-dimensional person, and the problem with some people is they're either much too serious all the time, or they never take anything seriously. Life is like, like the movie last night. I think what constitutes, I shouldn't generalize, but very often what constitutes a good movie is a movie that can make you laugh and cry.
Like Rain Man.
Like Rain Man, and like Torch Song Trilogy, that runs the gamut of human emotion. As opposed to something. Now, I'll grant you, some like Monty Python, you're not doing a lot of crying during their movies, but they're funny as hell, And here comes a message from Tom Jicka.
Oh, instant reaction.
Oh, yeah. By the way, Tom, we are the Super Bowl Superhost. By the way, Cheryl, is the book, do we have the whole book? Oh, can we see it?
Just got it this morning.
That'll help relieve us from all this other grief that's going on, okay? We can look at the book. The piece on Talk Radio will be in tomorrow's paper. Thank you so much, Tom, and thank you so much for reminding everybody that WIOD indeed is the Super Bowl. I mean, Tom is right. It's much ado about nothing, and I agree with that. And that being the case, why did it merit this entire outrageous column, right? And now Laura's giving us stuff here. What is this? What? Well, why are you giving that to me? I don't understand. See, there's a problem. Laura... There's a little problem, Laura. Bring Laura in there, okay? Now, seriously, get her, because there's a little problem. She wants an air check at 11:10. We already did the spot. We moved it around a little bit.
She ran for her life.
So, Laura, it just, and it says, please, let's not miss them. Highlighted in yellow. Well, we're going to miss it because we already just did it, but that's okay. Don't panic. Don't have a nervous breakdown. It's just one of those little things.
Reluctantly, she's coming back.
One of those little nudge-dicky things in life, okay?
Roger is dragging her in.
No, she won't come in.
No.
She's afraid we'll talk
dragging her in by her hair.
What is he doing? Well, anyway, we don't want to get sidetracked. Okay, it's 10:58 at WIOD, and I'm sure that when we come back, following the news break, we're going to have some really poignant and meaningful calls from the brilliant folks in this very concerned community in which we live, right?
Oh.
And, you notice it's exactly the same as all. In fact, one line went out already in Broward. We had all the Dade and Broward lines going, because usually as we sit down, even when the show starts, we got 4 or 5 calls before we get going. And Boca and Palm Beach, thank you so much, Cheryl. You're looking so much better today. You really are. You look like you really fresh good yesterday. Anyway, here's the book. Here's the whole book, and we're coming up on the news, which means we'll get a chance to go through it hour by hour and really peruse it. And,
we want those hour by hour.
See all the real intricate. We can look at the mornings on Zeta hour by hour and see how well they did. Should we look at that just before the news?
Dream come true.
I realize this is kind of a flip after everything I've been talking about, but like I said, life is not. You have to maintain an even keel. You just can't go off the deep end. What are these fractions here?
Is it okay if I laugh when you read those Zeta numbers?
Oh, boy.
Sort of rub it in.
I like that big 5 to 6 hour they have in the morning at Zeta. They got a .7. One thing I always liked, we had a huge lead-in, man. Especially when Old Moon was on there, boy.
Yeah.
The Moon Man. Man Jr.
It's not like antique time, but...
No, that is true. By the way, don't forget the Best of Neil every Saturday from 10 to 2, immediately following Antique Time on your Super Bowl superhost antique station, WIOD. Okay, Henry Barrow, speaking of antiques, Henry is standing by. He's got the 11 o'clock. Just a little joke, Henry. Don't get all uptight now. We'll overcome all these things, okay? We shall overcome. Henry's standing by. He's been sipping on the bubbly a little bit this morning, so if he sounds a little giddy, you'll have to understand and pardon him. He's had a long, rough life and been here much too long. And then we'll come back with hour number 2 at 11:05 and check in with all the brilliant comments from the concerned citizens of South Florida.
WIOD.
It's 11:05 at WIOD. There's some interesting things in the book. But we don't want to get into that because if we did a whole hour, well, it would be unfair, wouldn't it? It would be.
Well, can we look at just a couple?
As Nixon said, it would be wrong.
Just a couple of selected numbers.
The amazing part of it is we were only here 5 of the 12 weeks in a fall book, and we still beat Sandy in every hour.
Oh, Sandy.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
I miss Sandy.
Do you? I'll bet you do. We had, I can't believe this, the 11 o'clock, the big 11 o'clock hour, that's this hour.
This hour.
We had a 5-1.
Yeah. Is that the big hour?
Yeah, 4749-5146.
Mm-hmm.
Ranieri's biggest hour is the 6 o'clock hour. Wow. 8-5 at 6 o'clock.
Huh.
The 9 o'clock hour is not the big hour. Just the opposite. You know, that big 9 o'clock hour, that's kind of like your Super Bowl superhost station. I mean, it's good, but it's the least of all the others, okay? Anyway, it's 11:06. I guess we ought to take some of these calls, right? Let some of these people evacuate.
Is that what we're going to do?
Lighthouse Point, hello.
Neil Rogers?
Yeah.
I'm calling from Playgirl Magazine to remind you it's time to renew.
Pompano, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yeah.
Did you see Anbo last night?
What?
Did you see Anbo last night?
What are you talking about?
On the news.
No.
Well, she was pretty pissed. She was gritting her teeth there a little bit about this Overtown thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I just want to tell you that last night my wife beat my black Labrador, so I torched her car.
Yeah.
And then I turned and torched myself.
That'll solve. Well, that would be a good idea, I think, for you. Okay? I don't know why I'm taking any calls, okay?
Yeah, that first call was, yeah, there they go. All gone. Those were just horrendous.
I just cleared the whole board. I'm not going to waste my time. Like I said, if that's the best you can do, I'm not going to, waste the energy. And people say, oh, he's wasting his talents, and he isn't talking about the serious subject. They're burning the goddamn city down. We got, God only knows how many hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens who are allegedly going to pour into this town, and that's what we got here, okay? Please don't waste my time. Don't even answer them, okay? Screw them. We'll talk about the book a little bit here.
Great.
Because, you just can't do it. There's just no point. I mean, basically, you have a bunch of mindless automatons out there, and there's no point in trying to, make something out of it. You can't make chopped liver out of chicken dropping.
Yeah. Very nice.
Okay? That was a very, mild way of putting it.
Exactly.
I would like to put it in a different way, but now don't start sucking around now. See, now they're all going, except, of course, for those 2 Palm Beach lines. They could be burning the whole county down. And as long as it didn't cross the Palm Beach border, they're not interested, okay?
No.
Don't confuse them. They don't want to know from all of this. They're nice and Gentile up there, and they got everything, under control. And they're getting their sheets ready for the big weekend rally up there in Lantana, so everything is under control.
Well, I imagine this was big news for Palm Beach listeners that something happened in Miami. I imagine this was a big shocker to them this morning.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Mm-hmm.
Anything would be a shocker to those people. Most of them are brain dead because they've listened to the John Levitt show for about 10 minutes. Anyway, let's see, 18 to 34. Now, that's an interesting demographic, isn't it? I don't know why I keep looking at these, really, because these aren't our numbers.
Can we do some, I like those.
But to give you an idea, we were only here for 5 weeks.
Right.
Mornings, we had a 2-2. This is an 18 to 34 persons. Mm-hmm. Midday, a 4-0.
Mm.
Afternoons, a 2-4. Nights, a 1-1. And on the weekend, a 3-7. Well, that must be that antique show.
Or the lawn and garden hour.
Now, how about men 18 to 34? That ought to be pretty interesting, shouldn't it? I'm just looking at those areas where I think we probably did pretty well, okay? I could be wrong, which would be very embarrassing. Men 18 to 34. WIOD in the morning of 3-3, midday of 6-2, afternoon of 4-2, nights of 1-7, weekends of 6-2. That's Dolphins.
That's good.
Okay.
Good
And by
number.
the way, speaking of the Dolphins, even though they didn't make the playoffs this year and obviously will not be in the game, we are your Super Bowl super host station, and we're going to crank that promo up several times this hour.
Oh, the long one.
Just to get Tom Jicha PO'd, okay?
Yeah.
Just to get him really upset. Boy, those Zeta numbers, they are really doing it, aren't they?
Yeah, well, can you give me some hour-by-hour Zetas?
Oh, I thought we already did that.
Well, I want to relish. I want to sort of...
Anything would be better than talking to these idiots today, you know that?
I sort of want to, kind of...
Okay, let's see. WZTA,
Write
like I
them
said,
down.
5 to 6 a.m., a .7. Now, keep in mind, we were there for almost half of this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, 6 weeks.
Half.
God. 6 o'clock hour, 20, 26, 31, 35.
Oh. So the big 9 to 10 hour is actually the...
over there, was.
Yeah.
Gonzer, of course, loses more than half the audience immediately, takes a wicked dive with a 1-6, a 1-5, a 1-4, and a 1-7.
Well, he's kind of consistent.
And then Mike Lyons, who had a giant book on which we congratulate him, a 1-5, a 1-8, a 1-8, and a 2-2, which he is now wearing. And their nighttime numbers from 7 to midnight. This is what makes Zeta a great radio station, these nighttime numbers. A 1-7, a 1-2, a 1.0, a .6, 0.5, and then the big midnight to 1 hour, a .5.
Boy.
Do you know how many people that translates to at midnight? Average quarter hour? Seriously.
No.
600.
Oh.
Now, they could easy, I mean, we worked there for a long time. They could easily take that parking lot and get a bunch of people in campers and trailers to come in and save the juice, turn the power off on the transmitter, give it a rest. 600. We could get that easy that in this parking lot over here, no problem. We could take a megaphone out there with Lee Fowler in the yard out here and get more than 600.
Now, how many million people are in that coverage area? Million. 4 million people. 600 people.
And those are 600 that got broken radios. They got old crystal sets that they can't change the dial. Okay, it's 12 minutes past 11 at WIOD. Let's take a little break, and when we come back, we'll decide what we're going to do, okay?
Discovery. A little
Boy,
joke.
that Roger's got such a sense of humor, doesn't he?
Yeah, that
He's
was
like Charlie
cute.
Babbitt. He made a little joke.
That's cute.
I feel like Raymond Babbitt at the moment, to be honest with you. It's 11:15 at WIOD, and we don't know whether to scream or eat a banana at this point. Do you think we ought to take some calls?
I don't know. I'm a little
But
tenuous.
this program bears out exactly what I said, okay?
Mm-hmm.
About the only people you would get in calling who had anything to say about anything I discussed in that first hour would be the same old crotchety, old talk show crowd. You know the ones I'm talking about.
Oh, I agree with you, and they ought to round up everybody who doesn't want to work or speak English and send them to Siberia.
And that's basically what we got. So let's just go back to being a bunch of morons and being oblivious, okay? Because I guess every once in a while I lose my sense of perspective on the whole thing. You know, I lapse into this phony reality. And when you live in this town, you should not have anything to do with reality. You should just continue being a moron and being oblivious to everything that's going on around you, and you'll be okay. Right?
That's right.
But it is Super Bowl week, ladies and gentlemen. We want to continue adding to the hype and remind you that this is WIOD, your Super Bowl super host station. Now here are some segments of the last 18 Super Bowls in a row, okay? That could kill the rest of the show, couldn't it?
Now, you're looking at that book.
Even in this big 11 noon hour.
I ran into Skip Herman out in the hall during
Did
the
you
news,
really?
and he was talking about how the Colonel is off this week. He's taking some time off, you know?
What do you mean he's taking some time off? He just was on vacation for a week.
Christmas week, he wasn't there.
Well, isn't this
Now,
January the 17th?
That's right. Now, he's been over there less time than you and I have been here, because he was here the first couple of weeks we were here. So he's been over there about 7-8 weeks, I guess.
Mhm.
We've been
Tops.
here 10 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's on a second week vacation.
And
Well,
now
maybe
he
they're
had
trying to get some numbers back.
He had a week off at Christmas, and now he's off again.
For what?
I guess because
Maybe he's looking for a job.
I don't know. Fascinating. I don't know.
And what about Rose? What is Rose doing over there? Is he making any projections? What's that? Oh, I don't know. Whatever you want to do, Roger.
I don't know what to do either. What do you want to do, Roger?
Roger wants to know, should I answer the phone? Whatever you want to do. I really don't. Personally, I don't give a damn, okay?
See if Ed's on
As
there.
Clark Gable once
we'll
said.
talk
no,
to
we
Ed.
won't talk to Ed. Believe me, that's all I need
I'll
today.
talk to Ed.
No, you won't. Yeah, good. In the office there. Go call him up. Have a good chat. I'm sure Ed will give you a real good perspective on what's going on in town.
Yeah, see, that's what we need.
Boy, I sure wish I had a nice cigar here, you know?
Today? Yeah. Need
should have brought
today.
some good cigars.
Yeah.
Too bad Spencer's not here today. He'd go get me some.
Yeah. Well, you were chain smoking those cigars
I
yesterday.
was. Well, you know me. Once I get emotional, I start chain smoking cigars or pipes or something.
Yeah.
Mic stands. Okay, let me see if we can make that Palm Beach line ring. That would be exciting. The other ones are all starting to do something now, but that Palm Beach line 8
so naive.
just can't get into it. Well, I do want to say, WJNO, I think we should be fair, give credit where credit is due. For the first time in history, now that they got that repeater in Broward, they actually showed up in the Dade Broward book, and they devastating.
Did they beat Zeta?
Made a major impact. For example,
they beat Zeta.
Now, just relax now. For example, in midday, they had a .3. An afternoon drive, they had a .4. And this is before Lee Fowler went on in midday, so God only knows what's going to happen over there now. It's amazing. Lee's number in the Dade Broward book is about the same as when he was in this market, about a .4. So one thing about Lee, he may not be good, but he is consistent, okay? Oh, look at that. Palm Beach. Hello.
Yes?
Yes.
It's WIOD?
Yeah.
Can I speak to Neil?
Speaking.
Oh, is this Neil?
Yeah.
What's Palm Bay calling?
Oh, yeah. Well, listen, have a nice life, pal. Okay? That's it. Idiot from yesterday. How come he didn't go off when I punched it off?
I haven't called for a long time.
Wait a minute. I'm punching this guy off.
He wants to
Took
talk to you.
3 times before it disappeared. What do you mean you haven't called for a long? Didn't you just call the other day?
I don't know. I honestly
I think it was yesterday, wasn't it?
I don't know.
It was either Friday or yesterday. I'm almost sure it was yesterday and called for a long time. You're a moron, sir. We don't want to talk to you. You're an idiot.
Yeah, Palm
Don't you understand? How you actually get out of bed and get dressed in the morning is one of the great mysteries of all time. Okay, we got an open line in Broward, 524-WIOD. We just will not ask for Palm Beach, okay?
What does your T-shirt say, Glenn? What's your T-shirt say?
Big Bang.
The Big Bang. Okay, thanks.
Oh, yeah, another one of those evolutionists over there. Okay, it's 19 past 11, WIOD. Kind of smiled and looked in here like, what does that mean? You know those people at GTR, they're a little confused. They are animals, that's correct. Miami, hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Neil.
Yeah.
Listen, I wanted to ask you a couple questions.
Oh, yeah.
Why is it that when the 2 white officers were shot by the black men, we didn't riot in our communities?
Well, I don't recall white people rioting in South Florida. I could be wrong. I've lived here for almost 15 years. I do not recall. Maybe I've had a memory lapse. I don't recall it happening.
What is it?
And in addition to which, what difference does it? See, the problem with this is right away, every time we have an incident like the Mercado beating, the Hispanic Police Officers Association is marching and protesting. They don't even know all the details yet. But the major concern in this town was the officer white, was he Hispanic, was he black, was the victim white, all this other crap. And so to hell with justice or with the details, just let's worry about, who is which color and which race. That's what it's all about. Miramar, hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just a little upset every time what you were talking about all day. Nobody cares. You know what? We grew up in the 60s.
Hey, have you been listening to the calls? I mean, why even bother talking to these people? They don't care.
I know, but these calls, the whole society, everything. Nobody cares. Everybody grew up in the 60s, and we cared about civil rights. We cared about war,
in
and
60s,
now we're just a bunch of jerks.
Ancient history, sir. Ronald Reagan has done a brilliant job in 8 years of teaching America not to care about anything, not to be concerned about human life, about the environment. Well, you should be concerned about unborn human life. That he's very concerned about. But anything else, don't worry about that. Just be into materialism and what's in it for me and selfishness, and that's what America, they like that message a lot, and they like anybody else who parrots it, so that's become very popular.
But where did all these people that were concerned, where have they gone?
They've sold out, pal.
And you talk about Reagan, they
too much wicked weed, sir. It affected their brain, and now they are mentally impotent, and probably most of them physically the same, and they're useless.
That I understand now, but did you happen to see 60 Minutes on Sunday with the interview with Nancy and Ronnie?
Oh, no, I wouldn't watch that.
Boring.
No.
I'm going to tell you, they asked Nancy Reagan some questions, and she just sat there looking.
Yeah.
She blinked.
Well, she's been dead for 7 years, but nobody told her.
Oh, my God. I'm glad they're moving to California, not back around here, because, Oh, God, it's...
Yeah, we got enough excitement of our own without them. And not only that, but we don't have enough Metamucil to go around as it is. Okay, you have a great day, pal. Don't worry about it. It's going to get a lot worse. 22 past 11 at WIOD. There's an open line in Broward. If you move real fast now, we're getting some scintillating response to the crises of our times. 524-9463 in Broward. And, of course, that oblivious line, Palm Beach, where you can get in from Palm Bay even, or Jupiter, or Uranus, 655-WIOD. Why did they waste that money on that line? That's going to be my next crusade. I can't solve all these other problems, but maybe we can get that Palm Beach line taken out. That's like burning the money. It's like buying a lottery ticket. Hey, listen, Toyota of Hollywood is the...
WIOD.
Look at that. Henry's got that big Dom bottle in there with a little ball-peen hammer, ladies and gentlemen. He's hitting the bottle again, yeah. He thinks it's Maxwell House coffee, and they're good to the last drop. You know, he's got it straight up in the air, and the bottle too. Okay, it's 27 past. You only wish, Henry. You only wish. Yeah, that made him happy. Wishful thinking on your part. 27 past 11. His wife laughed when I said that. Where are we going next? We got a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, maybe if everybody quit rebuilding their cities after they burned it down, maybe they'd stop doing it.
Yeah, brilliant thought, sir. Thank you so much for your great contribution from Boca.
Yeah.
Okay. Miami, hello.
How are you, Neil? How you doing?
Great.
This is one of your closet Cuban listeners.
Yeah.
Octavia. So I just want to tinkle on you and say that you guys are doing a great job, you and Glenn. You should have watched that 60 Minutes. I know you don't like to see it. Ronald Reagan made some brilliant comments, as usual, that you'd have been really proud of. Last night as I was watching TV and all the riots and everything came on, I thought, oh, no, not again.
Yep.
And for a second, I thought, well, maybe it's one of these crime shows that's a replay from the 80 riots.
Mm-hmm.
And reality hit me, and I thought, this is great. It's perfect. Here we are with the Super Bowl. The world's eyes are on us. And what do?
Yeah, we really know how to put our best foot forward, don't we?
Well, the Miami Nice project has obviously worked out very well.
No question about it. That's going to turn it around for us. In fact, as they say at one radio station, we've turned the corner.
Well, if we turn the corner like Zeta did, I think we're...
Yeah, I think there's a great similarity.
Now that you mention it, in
fact, I'm going to look up the numbers for the Miami Nice campaign in this Arbitron book and see if they showed up.
Probably as low as Zeta's.
Yeah, right. They're right next to it.
And Suarez this morning on television on Good Morning America goes and says, well, and I think you mentioned this, we're building all these great buildings in Overtown with affordable housing.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, that's great. That's really going to do us a heck of a lot of good. And I can just see, I'm surprised my mother-in-law, she lives in North Carolina. She didn't call and ask how we were and were we in danger. I mean, as it is, they think we live in an armed camp down here.
I know.
Well, we certainly wouldn't want to say that, even if it's true, Even if everybody, 6-year-old kids have got holsters and real, it used to be little kids had toy guns. Now they got real ones, Well, and after they get to be teenagers, they got Uzis in the house.
Well, with the NRA in the state, the whole thing about everybody should have a gun, never mind that all these kids are dying and all these people are killing themselves.
Well, don't confuse them with the facts, sir.
Yeah.
They don't like that.
Yeah, really. Well, listen, Neil, just a tinkle, and you guys are doing a great job. Good luck in the next few months, and take care of yourselves.
Okay, thanks.
Bye-bye.
It's 11:30 at WIOD. There's an opening in date if you move real fast now before the next brush fire breaks out. 751-9463, 751-WIOD, in the land of the free and the home of the grave. Okay? What's the point? I don't know why I went through that first hour. It's absolutely pointless. It's like a throwback to the old days, and there's nothing that you can say in this town. Why haven't I learned that lesson? See, it's not my nature just to kind of give up.
No.
But I, slowly but surely, I was conditioned to doing that and just accepting the fact that this is basically a toilet with nice climate, But other than that, this isn't another tape, is it?
You got 2 today. I want to congratulate you on that.
Yeah, we got 2 more tapes today.
Yeah, brand new.
Anybody need? Here's a nice Maxell 90 boy, in good shape. Excellent. Probably about $7.95 at least, huh? Okay, what is this good stuff here? This is from Bob, a longtime fan. The mail is coming in little trickles today. What in God's name? Oh, it's the whole thing about the Brian Wilson album.
Oh.
Well, thanks a lot, Bob.
Now, I remember vividly it wasn't the first one. How many riots did we have back in 80, 81, 82? 2 or 3 nights we had 2 or 3 different incidences, right?
Well, yeah, but we had one gigantic Titanic.
But it wasn't that one. But I remember
on a Saturday.
Yeah, no, not that one. But I remember vividly listening to you on WINZ when you were on at night, on one of the nights.
Oh, that was, no, you're thinking of after the Alvarez verdict came.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that, because I was on doing my show, and I had, I don't want to say the guy's name, but a real bigot, one of these anti-bilingual type people, who as time went on, I realized what an incredible bigot this guy was. And during a commercial break, the verdict had just come in. Not guilty verdict.
Yeah.
And this guy went nuts. And he's screaming and yelling. He said, "Oh, they're going to burn the town down." You know, and I said, "Would you just try to just be calm, okay?" And the news people, now they were there because they knew that the jury was on. They were hanging around, and Jeff Bray was there, Mr. Calm, Cool, and Collected, who just went bonkers. I mean, he just was, you know, in the whole news department. They were ready to go nuts. And I said to them, I said, "Look, don't be a part of a problem. Don't get everybody crazy." I said, "If you just present it calmly and do a minimum on this and don't overdo it, we may get through this thing without a big problem." And as it turned out, we did. There were some minor disturbances, but nothing spectacular, thank God, you know, at that time. But, boy, they were just ready to dive into it and get everybody crazy.
See, I did afternoon news at that time at Love 94, and I had been called in from vacation, believe it or not.
In fact, I'll tell you how bad it was. It was even worse than the hurricane.
Yeah.
You remember when we were on Zeta, when we first went over there on the 12th of October, and there was that hurricane? Floyd, yeah. And they were just on the AMA going nuts. And, the world is ending. Run for cover. Hide under a banana plant. You know, that kind of stuff.
Everybody went out
and we were doing the opposite.
Yeah.
We said, it looks like it's probably not even going to hit here. Just relax, and we'll keep you posted, and just be prepared, and go out and get your batteries and douche water.
Yeah.
And everything was fine, you know, and they wound up looking like jackasses again.
That's right.
But in this particular case, it just, you know, there will be those who will blame the media and say, "Oh, yeah, they overdid it, and they used the word right." You notice how everybody is so tentative? They're using the word disturbance. They don't want to use the word right. And, of course, the question is, at what point do we differentiate between a disturbance and a riot? How many people need to participate? How aberrant does the behavior have to be before we officially call it a riot? And not only that, what difference does it make what we call it?
Oh, I think they've revised those figures. I think they're...
Oh, now it's got to be at least 1,000 before it's a riot. Yeah, if it's only 600-700, then it's just a disturbance. Okay, it's a little minor thing.
It used to be lower, but they raised those
And how
numbers.
many people have to get their brains gouged out before it's a full-fledged riot? Is
6,
it like 6?
I think, yeah.
At least 6.
It used to be 4.
It's only 4 or 5. It's not too much. Okay.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even now, and it's like, let's see, 12... 6, about 18 hours later, after this incident, even now we have very sketchy information. We still have a lot to be determined, and yet immediately there's all this, you know, well, the police officers were white, and the guy was on a motorcycle, and he was black, and, you know, it was on Martin Luther King's birthday. Well, that's the point, my God, on that day of all days, for us to be having race riots or disturbances in Overtown
it's incredible.
Is unbelievable.
No
absolutely unconscionable, okay? But, hey, listen, you folks, just go ahead, keep burning the neighborhoods down, man, and burn down those businesses. It's terrific. That's the way to make progress in America. Just keep burning down your neighborhood. That'll do it for you every time. Ought to have some real big investment in Overtown now, huh?
I just don't know why more people don't do it.
Might even get a pull folks over there before you know it.
Oh, boy, now there's
And like
excitement.
I said, every street corner, Overtown, Liberty City, virtually, I'll do my little disclaimer, virtually every street corner, morning, noon, and night, out in broad daylight, you watch the people peddling dope.
Yeah.
It's like a smorgasbord. Anything you want, man, it's out there. And, hey, everybody's oblivious, man. That's America, right? And don't blame us, because we're not the suppliers. We're just, you know, we just got to make a living. What kind of crap is that? Anyway, what am I getting started for again? I did an hour on it. You heard the first 2 callers in response to it. So what's the point, okay? We're dealing basically with an America full of morons who are, you know, primarily tuned in to Geraldo and Sally Jesse and Wart Downey and Escape and Cabbage Patch Dolls, etc. Is Henry with us, or is it April? Or we don't know? Oh, we don't have one this hour. That's right. See, my mind is just running away with me. Henry's busy. He's, you've heard of rock and bottle throwing? Henry doesn't have any rocks in here, but the bottle, that's another story. Okay, it's 11:35 at WIOD. We'll be right back.
And now you know the rest. of the story.
It's 11:38 at WIOD. We're having a wonderful day here. Everybody's in a good mood. They're oblivious. We don't want to get anybody upset, right? Because it's Super Bowl week. Everybody's getting their illegal bets done on a game. See, one thing about the American people, they've been very well conditioned to tune out anything that they can't answer or that they don't like. They just kind of tune it out in their brain. It doesn't register. You're not looking at the entries at Gulfstream again, are you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go.
But I'm also looking at this ad. 17-year-old stuns Las Vegas experts, his Super Bowl predictions, But you have to pay for it.
Pick one real quick.
Oh, I got it. Already picked one.
You already underlined it?
Circle their last race.
Underlined in red?
The last race, yeah.
Windy Affair with Walter Gary. He always picks a horse that's on top. These are already handicapped, so in other words, they're... the chalk is on top.
But just all that matters is if it comes in. That's all I care about.
Okay, well, let me pick something that's going to be a little bit, pay a little bit better, okay?
Oh, okay. Well, I don't, go that way.
So to speak.
Yeah.
I'm looking for something that really is going to... Oh, gee. Now, here's one. I have no faith in it, but I can't pass it up because I've given this out before. It never does anything. It's 12-1 in the morning line in the second race, number 6, with Bobby Breen, ladies and gentlemen.
Uh-oh.
Will he be there?
Will he be there?
Yeah.
Excellent. That's good.
And of course,
timing.
they'll be asking that question at the finish line. Will he be there? And the answer is probably not. But nobody picks it, of course, in a consensus anywhere. And 12-1, it's picked way down.
Ooh.
So there's our long shot special of the day in the second race. It could be a giant double for you, ladies and gentlemen.
You pick it to
you
win.
Could win enough to get bus fare out of this godforsaken town. Will he be there in the second at Gulfstream today? Trust me when I tell you. Don't lay too heavy.
Okay.
It's 11:40, and let's go to Coral Springs. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Okay.
This is Tony from Coral Springs. I met you down at Toyota of Hollywood.
I'll be damned, Tony.
And I was really surprised. You're a really nice guy.
That is
I
correct.
thought you'd be bashing me, the minute I walked up.
About what?
Oh, I don't know. No, it just, I thought maybe you'd be in one of your moods, where you...
God.
In one of what moods?
One of those moods where you decide to just bash everybody.
That's only it's just a radio show.
We've
Tom.
tried to explain that
How
over
many
and
times
over.
do I need to say that?
Over and over.
It's just a joke.
It's like when you tell people you don't steal the silverware at the restaurant. After you tell them that the first 50 times, it should begin to register.
That is correct.
But like I said, now, why should you be any different? No, seriously, why should you be different than most people in America? Things just don't register. When you want to just tune them out, there's a little automatic device in your brain that just siphons out the unpleasant and the the unacceptable, and you just don't hear it, right?
I understand.
That's how I am.
Oh, I understand. Listen, I've got a question for Glenn.
Okay.
How you doing, Glenn? By the way, you're doing a great job.
Thanks. Go ahead.
And don't let these old people in Miami bug you.
Oh, no, I don't.
I love your laughing. It's great. And I laugh right along with you.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I just wonder if you remember way back when you were on Love 94, they used to do a bunch of bits with Dave Caprite, I think it was.
Correct.
And something about the Doobie Brothers, how they always had Mike McDonald in the back.
Oh, boy, now
I'm
that's...
getting a little hungry now, you know it?
Sounds vaguely familiar.
Remember that?
Did you bring a sandwich today?
Yeah. You want part of it?
I don't want to take part of your sandwich. That would be terrible.
Well, it's sort of like...
See, because I go to my mother's
Holy
for lunch today.
Toledo.
What is that? I'm not trying to step on your material. It's just that...
Sharon just handed me the Playboy book of lingerie, sir. I'm sorry I'm distracted.
Let me see that.
God almighty.
I can handle this a little more objectively. Boy, look at that.
Check that over first. I can't remember what it is.
This roll on the cover is definitely not Oriental, sir. Trust me.
That's correct. Now, can you give me any more hints on it? It sounds vaguely familiar.
Well, it's you guys used to say that just about every song, I think it was the Beatles, Bad Company, it didn't matter who it was.
All right, now, for all you horny guys out there, I want to strongly recommend Playboy's Book of Lingerie.
Yeah. What a cover.
January, February 89 issue. It's $4.95. $5.95 in Canada, by the way, so most of them will not be sold in Canada.
On sale this week.
I am going to tell you something seriously. As one who can look at this very objectively, the boobs on these young ladies in this magazine are as big as watermelons, okay?
Oh, my God.
I'm serious.
Oh, my God.
Holy Toledo. In fact, they better look out in the pickle patches because there are going to be a lot of guys heading straight to the old pickle patch after they see this.
These kids today.
And are they Oriental?
No, I don't see any Orientals yet. I see a couple of blondes. In fact, on page 91. I don't know any blonde Orientals, do you?
No.
Well, I was just waiting, for you to say
You
there
do?
was Oriental.
Page 90 and 91, there is, these are two different
Blonde,
ones, I guess. Two
Oriental.
young blonde ladies with enormous breasts. I mean, the centerfold, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we don't have to mucky around with all this nonsense we've been getting into. Let's get to the meat of the matter, okay? The centerfold, look at that. Oriental with enormous, gigantic. I am serious. She has, each breast is the size of Mao Zedong's pupik, okay? That's how big they are.
It's impossible. It can't be done.
I'm serious. Trust me. She's the centerfold. 2 big pages. Oriental.
Can't be done.
Excellent. Yep. I'm happy.
He really has very strange taste. He hates Bette Midler. How can you hate... Well, I'm asking the wrong guy. Nick hates everybody, but at least he's consistent. He's consistent about it, But Bette Midler is a panic.
She's a classic.
She's tremendous. She's funny as hell, and Steve hates her. Oh, yeah,
weird,
she's phenomenal. Because the reason I thought of that is I saw the preview before a Torch Song Trilogy, and one of the previews was that new movie she's in called Beaches, yeah. And it looks like it's really going to be great.
Yeah.
You saw it? Yeah, it's tremendous.
Yeah, funny.
Don't you love the way Roger makes all these, hand signals there?
I like that.
Was he trying to say that the movie is number 1, or was that a little editorial? Yeah. Okay, it's 11:46 at WIOD. I'm going to let you look at this during the news break. I cannot. Oh, yeah, The Rose, that was Bette Midler. Even Nick liked The Rose.
Excellent film.
So Steve needs to go to San Diego to that decloning place, where they go into your brain and they put all the pieces back together again, because he just, I don't understand his taste. Very strange. And after the show yesterday, he said to me, "Oh, don't discourage people from going to see talk radio. Let them go see it and make up their own minds," which I think somewhere along the line I said that.
Yeah.
But I was doing it more in the sense, in fact, the Fox movies, $5.50 at night.
How about that? They're up to $5.50?
$5.50. And they're little, they're not great movie theaters.
Yeah.
They're new, but $5.50?
That's a lot. That's a lot. They're $6 in New York City.
Really?
At night.
See, what I don't understand is when you can go at 3 in the afternoon in a lot of places for $3, why is the same flick worth almost double?
It's always been that way.
It's kind of like the hotel rooms in town during Super Bowl week, by the way.
Interesting.
And don't forget, this is your Super Bowl superhost station, WIOD, Mr. Jicka.
Quite a metaphorical comparison.
You didn't see Tom Jicka's column in the Sun Sentinel this morning? Nick missed the first hour.
Oh, you'll like it.
And he just rips the crap an entire column. WIOD acts as though wishing makes it so, suggesting that it is a hoax that we're perpetrating on the public. We are pretending to be the Super Bowl station and we're going to carry the game. He doesn't understand that we paid for the rights, God only knows why, to be the Super Bowl superhost station, because it's much ado about nothing. But he doesn't understand that. And secondly, any idiot knows that CBS Radio has the rights to the game, and we are not a CBS affiliate. That's why WINZ has it, and because Zeta is their FM affiliate, they're simulcasting, which makes about as much sense as selling matzo balls in Saudi Arabia. It makes no sense at all. But he somehow doesn't say that in there, okay?
And also, I think Zeta is perpetrating a hoax by saying they're going to have the game in stereo. I don't think it's in stereo, do you? It's off CBS Radio. It's not in stereo.
You're right. Now, CBS Television could be in stereo, but not CBS Radio. Of course not.
And they're just going to have it on both channels and tell everybody it's stereo, and it's not. Isn't that perpetrating a hoax?
Are they saying it's in stereo?
Yeah, on the promos. Yeah. We'll have the game in stereo.
So in other words, Jack Buck will be in one channel and Hank Stram will be in the other?
I don't think they will be. I honestly don't. I may be wrong.
I was trying to think of something nasty to say about them, but I happen to like both of them, so I'm not going to do that. I was going to say, maybe one of them could be in the English channel. Like maybe if Jimmy the Geek were still on CBS.
That's Jimmy.
It's 11:48 at WIOD. I think we'll take our last...
This is the Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
Oh, I got a lot of questions, all right, but unfortunately nobody in this town's got the answers. It's 11:53 at WIOD, and you threw those pictures for the time being?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Women. Incredible. Beautiful.
Yeah, you guys out there that need some material... You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the Playboy lingerie.
Those of you who like those erotic pictures. There's nothing...
beautiful.
They're like Playboy centerfolds mostly, aren't they?
They are, yeah. That's what they are.
They all are?
Yeah. Basically, yeah. They give their names, and they're all like Playboy Playmates.
If you'd move that thing out of the way, I could see the name on the side of the magazine. Playboy's, what is it?
Book of Lingerie.
Yeah. Trust me, okay? I wouldn't steer you wrong. All right, let's go to Fort Lauderdale. Hello?
Yeah, Neil.
Yeah.
Your first hour was not a wasted show, because there are some people up here in Broward that do care.
Yeah.
Not many.
That's why we got out of Dade, right?
No, these politicians that are in office that like to downplay everything. The only reason they're in office is because these rectal remnants from prostates past decide to elect them in the office.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mayor Cox.
Yeah, he's a real winner, boy, I'll tell you.
Well, just to make this short, Mayor Cox, some of us up here do realize you do spell your last name wrong, and we really do get the general idea.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing. You sure gave that city a gigantic screwing, so there must be something symbolic about that. Have a wonderful day, pal. 11:54 at WIOD. There's an open line in Broward at 524-9463. 524-WIOD, your Super Bowl, super host, super silliest station. Kendall, hello.
Neil, how you doing?
Great.
This is Manny.
Yeah, Manny. Manny from Kendall, I bet.
Excuse me?
I say Manny from Kendall.
Right.
Well, the reason I knew it is because you said it was Manny, and then it said you were calling from Kendall.
I always knew you were a
Pretty
genius.
good deductive powers. Even Sherlock Holmes would be embarrassed.
I don't want to bring the show back down to what you added in the first hour because you sound like you're having a better time. But I find it a bit ironic. I was watching that program with Sandy Duncan, the Hogans.
Yeah.
And it was about the two younger kids. Their father told them that they couldn't go out, and they disobeyed their father to go to a Martin Luther King rally. And I just find it really ironic on the birthday of this man that everything that he was against, all this violence and everything, would just happen in our community.
Yeah, how many times in the last 2 days did we see little snippets of Martin Luther King and Coretta King in their comments the other day, kept repeating that over and over again about his main message was nonviolence, progress through nonviolence and getting involved in the system and changing things and so on and so forth. And right away we have an episode, and the immediate knee-jerk response is the same old crap that happens in this town. Every time some tragic incident comes along, we don't even know the details, but boy, let's get all PO'd again and get all whipped up into a frenzy and start burning people and burning cars and to go nuts again. That really solves the problems, man. That does it.
Absolutely. The total opposite of what he stood for, all this violence and
that's right.
And not change through peace. And, it's really sad to see this, especially in our community where things had been at least looking a little
It would be like having a gigantic, for all the environmentalists, having a federal holiday in honor of some great environmentalist somewhere and having an environmental group going and setting the redwoods on fire in California,
Exactly. It's the same exact thing. And now I want to address the other thing you spoke about in your first hour. I don't know who the hell this community thinks they're fooling, saying that we're good, that we can accept these people into our community without a doubt. And this is not a prejudicial comment. There will be some kind of rise in crime because these people are going to be probably a majority of them living in the streets, and they're going to have to get money for food somehow. So there will have to be some crime, whether it's just.
Well, see, we have short memories. Most of the politicians here didn't want to admit what a nightmare Mariel was in the first place, and now, now that we're on the verge of having perhaps another one, they still don't want to admit, what went on and what can happen again. I mean, can you just imagine a repetition of what happened here 8 years ago on top of everything else?
8.5 years later, we're still feeling the effects from Mariel. And they don't know what the hell they're going to do.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do about it.
Well, we have brilliant, courageous, powerful leadership in this town, man. They're as impotent as their outgoing president. Just keep that in mind, man.
No, we have a bunch of morons running the city here. That's what we have.
You got it.
All right, no comedy today, Neil. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can get hysterical about it like I sometimes do, and I did during the first hour, but it doesn't change anything. People in this community don't get angry enough to make any changes. Well, once in a great while, like, for no particular reason, or at least no specific reason, they got rid of a couple of incumbents on Metro the last time. They got Beverly Phillips out, and they got rid of, who else? Clara Osterly, was it?
I think so. Was it?
Was it? I don't even remember anymore.
So.
I mean, I used to know all the commissioners, Metro and the city of Miami. I don't even know half of the names anymore because most of the people that they vote in are a bunch of bozos anyway who have no qualifications and no ideas. And that's part of the problem, is that people of any quality don't run for public office in this community because they never get elected anyway. Most of the people that get elected are based on, some ethnic thing. If they're running on the beach, if they're Jewish, they get elected. If they're running, in Dade County, if they're Hispanic, they'll get elected. If they're running in the city of Miami anyway, et cetera. And it just, just basically an ethnically polarized community, and nothing has really changed. And just takes another one of these little episodes to remind us of what this is all about. But life is beautiful and the climate is great. It's going to be about 80 today. So remember, our secret word for today is oblivious.
That's it.
If you can be oblivious, man, this is paradise. If you just ignore all of these things and the fact that this is a godforsaken douchebag, hicktown, bush league place, and you just put that aside, and you believe all the hoopla and the hype that they write in the papers about, hey, it's great, it's a world-class city, we got those big buildings, the metro rail's lovely, and et cetera and so on, then you're going to be as happy as a pig in slop, okay? You're going to love it. And we're pretty damn happy, okay? So, as they say... Okay, we don't want to have that playing over the musical bed there. It'll clash, but that's what they say.
Yeah.
Okay, April Wortham is standing by with that noon WIOD news, and a lot of you guys probably be looking at some of those pictures, too, while you're listening to the newscast. We'll come back at 12:05. Steve at 2 on 610 WIOD. All right, don't start cackling now. He's not even through with the intro, and you're already starting, okay?
We can't talk over that?
We can do anything we want, because you're a Super Bowl super host, supercilious WIOD. It's 6 minutes past noon. I don't know what Steve's doing today because I don't have a thing.
Open is what I saw on the calendar.
Open?
But the calendar was nothing on. Is today the 17th?
The last time I checked, yeah.
It's open as far as I know.
Okay, 6 minutes past noon at WIOD. Let's go to Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
Hey, Glenn, how's it going?
Okay.
I thought the biggest ironic thing, first of all, like Xavier Suarez, glossing over everything, not going to the real heart of the problem, first of all.
Big surprise.
Yeah.
About the only thing I can say for him, he did have the guts to go right in there. Even the police wouldn't follow him. I was just reading the story. But, that little grandstand act doesn't get the job done. You know, it doesn't change anything.
Parade did it in 1980, and what changed?
Yeah.
Next, I saw a thing last night on Channel 10. It was extremely ironic because I missed the last minute and a half of it and I had never seen it before. It was an encore presentation in honor of Martin Luther King. It was called Eye of the Beholder.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely fascinating television show. I don't know if either of one of you saw it.
I saw a couple minutes of it.
It was fascinating. It took white people and black people, put them in a group, and all of the people who had blue eyes had to wear a collar. They were told that they were not as smart. It was really fascinating. And one lady, she couldn't take it. She was in there for like an hour. She had to leave. She did come back later on when they had the round table discussion about it. It was really fascinating, and it told people what, it showed white people exactly what it's like to grow up black. I'm a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, and it really totally fascinated me. I've always considered myself, I come from the South. I try not to be prejudiced. It's hard when you grow up in a family where you hear certain words, not to pick them up yourself and not to pick up certain prejudices. You try to think differently than some people that came from another generation, because you do see the positive things that have happened in the last 10 or 15 years.
In the last 8 years, our illustrious outgoing president has done more to undo what happened in the last 20 years than all his predecessors put together. And that's one of the reasons that he's so popular in white America. But we're talking apples and oranges. They're two different things. On the one hand, we're talking about injustice, but on the other hand, we're talking about the response to it.
I agree.
And an intelligent way to respond to it is not through burning down your own community and rioting and carrying on like barbarians. That is not the answer.
I really do think that you have to look at it in this fact. I really do think that it was a minority of people that live in the... You got to realize the great numbers of people that live in a square block.
Let me say this to you, okay?
Yeah.
In my neighborhood, if hundreds of people, literally hundreds, were out throwing bottles and rocks and setting buildings on fire, I wouldn't really be concerned whether it was a minority or a majority. It would still be a riot. It would still put me in jeopardy, and it would still place an enormous blemish on the community that I live in. So all of these statistical cop-outs are meaningless. If it's only a half a dozen people or something, or a handful of kids, then we're talking a different story. But it wasn't. It was hundreds of people.
Well, one thing that was brought out last night on the television was one of the reporters said that I think it was one of the CBS reporters that actually got sort of like beat up or whatever.
Yep.
It was the camera
Channel
people.
4.
He said that he thought it was. He said when you take these kids that were like 12, 14 years old that are throwing the rocks, they were smiling when they were doing it.
Yeah.
And this is what you're talking about. There is no supervision, and this is the thing that we, as citizens who are more fortunate, really do have to go in there. And it sounds patronizing, but if these kids don't have, guidance, they've got to get it from somebody.
Well, the whole value system still sucks in the black community in this town anyway, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And I'm not so sure that, at the national level it's all that much better. With all the hoopla about the Super Bowl, there's this big to-do about the Icky Wood Shuffle. Have you seen that thing? And every time I watch that, to me, it is so racially demeaning. It's like a step-and-fetch-it routine that he does. And the fact that black athletes, many of them behave in this way so that the young black kids can emulate the behavior is pathetic, because the rest of white America looks at it and it's the whole thing is just a piece of racism. That's all it helps perpetuate.
Oh, I agree. When they have him, it is.
It's embarrassing.
It is. It's embarrassing. It's demoralizing.
It will be like a bunch of homosexuals running around limp-wristed, acting as camp as they could in public. Or in a football game, for example, and there are gay football players. That may come as a great shock to some of our macho listeners, but it would be like the same thing after they score a touchdown of doing a little, prancing around and mincing and flipping their wrists and putting a skirt on or something. I mean, to perpetuate grotesque stereotypes is not the way to break down prejudice.
I agree. Can I change the subject just
in about 30 seconds?
Just a tiny bit. For both of you guys, here in South Miami, we've got something for each of you, and it sort of relates to what you just brought up there, Neil. For you, Glenn, have you ever been to the Sun Moon? It's on the highway.
Sun Moon.
On Dixie Highway.
Just north of the Riviera.
Yes, I have.
I've been there.
Yes, I have. Excellent. Yes, I recall.
There is a young lady in there.
Oh.
Genovesa. Genovesa.
Uh-huh.
It might be worth... I know that you don't live all that far away.
Right.
It might be worth your while in checking it out.
Okay.
And,
I'll remember.
And Neil?
Yeah.
Right across the street from there's a place called LB's Eatery.
Yeah.
There is a guy named Richard.
Yeah.
Who's just come in the last couple of weeks. I know you're just a watcher. Look, we're all voyeurs.
What do you mean there's a guy named Richard? What, am I supposed to drive down there to look at him?
Well, he's
next time you're in the neighborhood.
Yeah, okay, next time in the neighborhood, I'll stop by and look at Richard, okay? 1213 at WIOD. Boy, that's a little, I mean, see, with, what's his name at the ice cream store? What was his name?
Brian.
I mean, see, that was in the neighborhood. But Brian was a nice kid and all that, nice looking, but I wouldn't have driven to Kendall to look at him. It may come as a shock, but in Broward, we actually have some incredibly good-looking people. I know that's... even in my neighborhood. 1213 at WIOD, 1215 on your super whatever station, and I want to tell you about a super place for you to have lunch right now, and that is Char Hut. And when you go in there, they're not going to be worth. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Hi.
Hi. I didn't really know what was going on until I was running my errands this morning, what happened in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally got to the bank, and I read the Palm Beach Post, and I was reading the article, and of course I'm appalled by it. And there was a quote by somebody by the name of David Rivera, and he made a quote saying that it was just sporadic rock and bottle throwing. And then right under that, there was a picture of Bush with that imbecilic smile on his face saying, Martin Luther King's dream is our mission.
Yeah.
And I about puked.
Yeah, no question that the Reagan-Bush people are very heavily into civil rights. I mean, all Reagan did was try to abolish the Voting Rights Act and destroy the Civil Rights Commission. Other than that, don't confuse. And he made that brilliant comment about Martin Luther King and communism the other day. So no question that they're wonderful civil libertarians.
Yeah, I know. Well, to go on, when I moved to Florida in 1970, I decided to do something political, active, and I joined the McGovern campaign. And they delegated a portion of Fort Lauderdale to canvas, which was Bell Harbor. And not only did I have a McGovern sticker on my bumper, I had to go up to doors and knock and, say, would you please vote for this man? I had doors slammed on me. I had rocks thrown at me. And I ran into...
In Bell Harbor?
Bell Harbor of Fort Lauderdale, yeah. And then I ran into one guy who's from the Civil Liberties Union who was, he was good and he was nice and he, McGovern was impish, but still, it was just
Well, history shows very clearly in retrospect he would have been a big improvement over Richard Milhouse.
Absolutely.
But don't confuse the public with these things, The public, and especially now, 15, 16 years later, it's much worse than it was then. People react only to, like the whole campaign. I mean, with all these simplistic labels and the name-calling and all of that, that's all the American public can relate to. Don't confuse them with the issues or any discussion of anything of any depth. All they can relate to are a lot of, who's the most wimpish and who's the card-carrying member of the ACLU. Most Americans don't even know what the ACLU, what the letters stand for, much less anything about it.
I was really, your first hour, this is the first time I've ever called, and I really feel very strongly about what you said in your first hour.
Well, but the sad part of it is I feel real strongly about it, too, but the sad part, and one of the reasons I've given up discussing these things in this community, is that it's a total waste of time. You just can't wear yourself out trying to make people care about things that they don't care about. They do not care. They refuse to care.
Yeah. I'm a caterer in Palm Beach, and I have to deal with, the kind of mentality that you're always talking about. And I feel very strongly about your viewpoints and your opinions about it.
Wouldn't it be nice if the whole South Florida area were like, I'm not saying like another area in terms of imitating somebody, but in other words, the demographic, like a good cross-section where we had mostly living and breathing people as opposed to mostly people who are, have one foot in the grave and illegal aliens and people looking for a green card and this area, there's just something totally screwed up in what's going on here. This hasn't evolved like a real place.
Oh, I know. See, in my business, I have to depend on people coming down here for the season. And then I have to put up with, the golf games, and blah, 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 and they don't, they don't want to pay you the money, and it's an incredible environment.
Yeah, it's a Neanderthal
But I like the climate, so I'm here.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Now, did you say you wanted to hear the golf game?
No, get out of here. Have a nice day.
Also, Bert, I have been for San Francisco through it all, but now I find out Rice might not be able to play.
No, he's going to play.
Is he?
Yeah,
it's the Bengals.
They made the comment. Would you shut up? They made the comment yesterday, which I think epitomizes America's attitude about sports, that nobody misses the Super Bowl, and no matter how badly he's injured, they will physically drag him onto the field if they have to. So
they'll sew the foot back on.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
At least for 3 hours, anyway.
Have a nice Super Bowl host weekend.
Oh, yeah, we sure will. Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
21 past noon at WIOD, your super silliest station. By the way, if you don't know what we're talking about, Tom Jicka, our good friend, in the lifestyle section of the Sun Sentinel today, just to prove that we don't have this incestuous relationship, just rips the crap out of this station, an entire column with a full-color Tom Jicka picture. A first. And it says, WIOD acts as though wishing makes it so, and suggests that somehow we are conducting a fraudulent campaign on the station to con you people into believing that we're carrying the Super Bowl. We are not carrying the Super Bowl. Nobody listens to the Super Bowl on radio to begin with, okay, except for a few degenerates in trucks somewhere, and he even says that later in the article. Yeah. So why would we want to pretend that we are carrying the Super Bowl? We would like to have it. I'm not sure why, because nobody listens to it, but we like to have it for the prestige of it, I guess. Yeah. And because some of the people here are just obsessed with sports. I mean, to the point of just lunacy. Obsessed with sports.
Beyond obsessed.
And I love sports, don't get me wrong, but it's just a game, okay? It's not the beginning and end of the world.
Well, when I heard they were going to be carrying curling this winter.
We are. We're going to be carrying a lot of curling, a little bit of indoor soccer, arena football.
A little much.
And for all you British fans, we got some, what do they call that other thing? Cricket. We got some cricket coming up this spring. 22 past 12 at WIOD, Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello. I've been a captive audience of yours because my boss makes us listen to this show every day.
Well, what a boss.
So, but you know him, but he told me not to associate himself with myself when I make these comments.
Okay. We'll just say he's a douchebag and leave it at that, okay?
No, he's a douche nozzle.
Oh, there's a great line, by the way, in that movie, Torch Song Trilogy, and the kid that he adopts, Harvey Fierstein adopts this kid, and he comes home from school beat up, and he said, "Why did they beat you up?" And he said, "Because I called somebody a douchebag."
Ooh.
And there was no response from the audience. This place was packed, and I guarantee if I would have stood up in the middle of that theater last night and said, "Hey, I'm Neil Rogers, and I think all you people in Sunrise are douchebags," they would have said, "Who?"
Yeah. Neil who?
Thank God.
Well, the first comment I wanted to make was the subject that you started in your first hour, and that had to do with the disturbance in Miami.
Yeah, the disturbance,
Yeah, last night Susan Lichtman had Fauntleroy on, and they asked him, and I believe he was an activist during the 60s, right? But now he's a member of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference.
Oh, yeah.
To offer some words to maybe quell some of the trouble that was occurring down there. He refused to try to calm anybody down. That's perpetuating.
Well, I don't think that too many of the people who were out in the streets throwing rocks and bottles had their portable Sony TVs with them at that point, so I don't think it really...
to prevent anybody else from maybe going out...
Yeah, well, I think Susan's living in a dream world, okay? That, again, is a case of the media trying to make the news instead of reporting it, which
Okay, and then getting off of that and getting into something else. A couple of weeks ago, a caller had said, why do they have the closed captioning on the Southern Bell TV ads? Well, the deaf do communicate via telecommunication devices for the deaf. And so they do watch TV, and they do communicate over the telephone lines, so that it is a marketable audience to them. You know, they don't send letters back and forth.
Well, we learn something every day.
Okay. Another thing is, we're talking...
24 past noon at WIOD. We have an open line in Broward. Oops to you, too, my friend. 524 WIOD. There's another one of our intellectual callers who obviously has seen too much Pee-wee's Big Top. Okay, let me tell you about Gulfstream. We got the mail is in trickles today.
Yeah, this is Trickle Day.
Well, you know, yesterday
Trickle
was
Tuesday.
Federal holiday, so the mailmen are trickling today. And we just opened a letter, and we had a tape in it, and I thought, here we go again. And it's a tape with a comedy bit on it.
Yeah.
It's called Don't Get Sand in It. I wonder what that's about.
My.
And a $500 check for Camilla's house. I want to thank Robert in Miami. He knows who it is. We appreciate it very much. You're a great human being. And one of these days when I get in that room over next door, see, today I have to go to my mother's, so it's another day.
Right.
And then tomorrow I've got a client to see at 3 up in the... So it just a hell life, you know.
Did you say... he got lucky in the lottery?
He got lucky in the lotto, and he sent us... oh, look at this. Here's another letter from Orlando on that same typewriter. Isn't that great? Isn't that amazing how they share the same typewriter in the same stationery from Vero and Fort Pierce and Sebastian and Orlando? And this is from the Reverend again. Remember Reverend Harold Washington, who wrote to us the other day with the church's belfry? Oh, yes. During our morning worship services, we sometimes listen to you and pray for you. Oh, yeah.
Sure.
P.S. I don't want to give the name of my church because we shun publicity as the work of the devil. Well, that's good. I only wish that some of those TV evangelists would feel the same way, don't you? Well, thank you, Reverend Harold. You're a wonderful human being, and continue your good work, okay? 1231 at WIOD. Let's go to Dania. Hello.
Hello, Neil. How are you doing today?
Good.
Hi, Bird.
Hi.
There are people in Dania who care.
Really?
Yes.
You mean there aren't just antiques in Dania? Is that what you're trying to say?
There are some antiques, but there are also genuine people who
and
really
don't forget
care.
Antique Time at 9 o'clock this Saturday morning exclusively.
Yeah, right. Why do they, on the news, refrain from calling it a riot?
Well, because they're a bunch of cowards. I mean, you know, and then, of course, there's a lot of pressure on them now. During Super Bowl week especially, there's enormous pressure from the Chamber of Commerce types and the politicians. Oh, don't say we're having riots in Miami. There'll be the kiss of death. Just let's minimize it. We just had a little disturbance, and, you know, let's go on with our life and have a big party and make everybody happy, you know.
Okay.
And do the Icky Wood Shuffle, you know.
Well, I wasn't here in '80 when the first one broke out.
Well, I will say this. What happened here last night paled into insignificance, thank goodness, compared to what happened here 8 years ago. I mean, that was beyond description.
Oh, okay.
One of the most barbaric events in the history of this country 8 years ago.
And for the caller who watched that thing about having to wear a collar with blue eyes and all that crap.
Yeah. That is a lot of crap. Oprah did a thing. All the TV talk shows did that when it was fashionable a few months ago. and they brought the people on, and then they admitted, 2/3 of the way through it was a hoax, and they just made it up to make these people, to show you what prejudice is all about. I mean, if people are that insecure and they have that, sooner or later you have to stop feeling sorry for people. People have got to stop being insecure. If they don't like themselves, that's their problem, okay?
Right.
I mean, I certainly know that because I fit in several categories I can think of immediately that aren't too popular in American society. I don't care. I don't live for other people, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And if people have a problem, that's their problem. I'm not going to let it be mine, and I'm not going to let it destroy my existence.
Right, and there's no way that you can tell what discrimination is by living it for a couple of hours anyway.
That is correct.
I mean, when you live it your whole life, then you know what it is.
Yep. Okay.
Other than that, I'm out
of material. Well, listen, that makes two of us. Have a great day.
Okay.
12:33 at WIOD.
Someone sent us the radio listings from the Palm Beach Post TV book, and this is, of course, the one that has me doing Zeta Connection and April's Corner with April Wortham on POM. And listen to this. Lee Fowler Show, 3 to 6 p.m., WJNO. A topical talk program featuring guests and discussions of current events with host Lee Fowler. Now, this week's schedule includes Tuesday at 4, Representative Tom Lewis, reviewing 1988 and previewing 1989. But Friday at 4, Bob Half will discuss the best excuses for being late. No wonder we don't get any calls on Palm Beach anymore. And I do have the program and station and offer chiropractic hotline, for you. Chiropractic hotline on WSBR.
Well, I can't wait for that. Okay, I was just looking at some, we get some crap in the mail. Some really weird stuff. I mean, it's not good and it's not bad. It just doesn't make any sense. But that's America, ladies and gentlemen. 12:34 at WIOD, and if you're in the mood for delicious Thai food right now, you get in that car if you're up in Broward and head for Saeed. You know how emotional those people get. 12:39, 21 till 1 at WIOD, the Neil Rogers Show. Steve will be along. He's got open phones this afternoon from 2 until 6.
Apparently.
We think.
Yeah.
Apparently. Well, it's kind of difficult. They're doing some stuff here, and our mailboxes are no longer where they used to be. Everybody's stuff is on the floor.
Yeah.
So it really looks great. You go out in the hallway here, and there's just a bunch of cassettes and crap and mung and stuff on the floor. Anyway, we got incredible mail here today, some really bizarre stuff. Here's one from Freeport, and it says, Dear Mr. Rogers, just a note to let you know that on the island of Grand Bahamas, you have a large listening audience. I and my fellow workers at the airport in Freeport Freeway enjoy listening to you and Mr. Bird. Your show is a refreshing break from the local government-controlled station, Radio ZNS, which is comprised of 50% propaganda, 40% religion, and 10% crap.
Nice blend. I like that.
Well, that's better than a lot of stations in this town, which are about 90% crap. WIOD comes in extremely clear up until about 7:30 p.m. I think what he probably means up until pattern change is what he's trying to say, which
5:30
changes from month to month. Well, in a couple of months it'll be 7:30.
That's right.
I, along with others, realize that you're not particularly fond of the Bahamas. However, much of what you find unfavorable is true. We do have problems here. Boy, now here is an honest man. That's
incredible.
It's almost unprecedented, isn't it?
Yeah.
However, your show does raise the consciousness of many here, even though that is not the show's purpose. That is true. Purpose is for us to make money. Keep up the good work and keep Mr. Bird cackling. We love him, too. I'm unable to call because the long-distance charges are...
unbelievable.
Sincerely, Melvin in Freeport. Thank you, Melvin. Great letter. You're a great... he's not a great American, I don't think, but he's a great Western Hemisphere type person, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay, it's 12:41, 19 till 1, and our next call is in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Well, speaking about Palm Beach and their stupidity, I was reading an article in the Herald on Section 3B. It says Temple condo residents feud over sewer pipes.
Over what?
Over sewer pipes.
Oh, yeah.
I guess you've heard about that.
No, I kind of missed on that one.
They built this temple right next to the Century Village there.
Well, that should have taught them a lesson.
And they wanted to hook into their sewer pipes, so they got permission to do it, and now the condo association is suing them. And they've lost 2 cases, and now they're going on to the Florida Supreme Court because they used 75 feet of their property in Century Village. This is for their own temple.
Well, shame on them. God is going to punish them.
And I was thinking that they've wasted so much money and so much energy if they could have only channeled it into something that worthwhile, like maybe helping the depressed. And,
yeah.
You know.
Well,
like
God forbid that people should do anything productive, you know.
But there's
much more fun getting into their little, you know, condo associations and having verbal fistfights, or having real fistfights over parking spaces, important things like that.
But I don't understand. They have so much money that they could be helping people with, and they're smart. I mean, they must. I'm sure that they're fairly smart, even though they're petty.
What makes you say that? Why would you think that people who are smart behave like that?
Yeah, I do.
No.
When all they have to do is sit around and think of things that they can be.
Well, if they were smart, they would have something else to do besides sit around. Believe me. But have a nice life. It's 12:42. By the way, she mentioned something about that temple, so this ties in a little bit. The first films of the 5th Annual Jewish Film Festival are being shown at the University of Miami's Beaumont Cinema, and I think you're going to really be impressed by the names of these films. I'm not making this up. Roger gave this to me right off the wire. Okay. University of Miami shows Gefilte Fish, Jewish Life in Bialystok, and Jewish King Lear. February 28th, every 2 weeks through February 28th, so it's on now. Okay.
Good heavens.
Now, probably somebody will get confused and they'll think that I said they were serving gefilte fish. They are not serving it. They're showing it as a movie. It's probably like a fish called Wanda. Probably
that's what I was thinking.
Genre.
That's exactly.
Miami, hello.
Yes, hi, Neil.
Yeah.
How are you today?
Okay.
Good, Neil. I tuned in about an hour ago just to hear the news about the riot and to see exactly what the end results were. And as I started to listen to your callers and to your show, I got, well, pretty upset because, in my opinion, this community deserves riots. And the reason I say that is we build such fantastic arenas on the edge of Overtown. We build a great metro rail system right through the heart of the ghetto. And I happen to go through the Overtown.
Questions. Your rail system that you're talking about cost the federal government $1 billion to build. It would seem to me that as much of a boondoggle as it is, that it would be, you know, helpful to those people who have jobs downtown or in the areas that are served by it. I don't see it as a tremendous blight like some other things that they build. And as far as building the arena on the edge of Overtown, that was a very chancy thing that they did. And luckily, you know, the Heat, with all their problems and losses, have had a tremendous fan support and attendance. So what are you trying to say? What should they build? Should they build some slum housing down there? What should they be building?
Well, when you say it was a chancy thing to build it, my God, they got a cheap piece of property that they could just walk in for dirt cheap and build a multi-million-dollar arena. So, gee, we can watch a basketball.
I don't hear anybody complaining about the fact that they built Cobo Arena in downtown Detroit. I don't hear people bitching about that.
My point is that we in this community here are so constantly bothered by our third world immigrants that we haven't taken the time to look at what the local community is doing down here, and in Overtown especially. You know, I heard you mention a little while ago that on every street corner are drug pushers and dealers. And you know what? That's absolutely correct.
I know it's correct.
Do you know how many police departments and stations are in Overtown? How many times is this community going to have to watch a white policeman shoot an unarmed black man?
Sir, you know, again, you don't know any of the details. I don't want to talk to you, sir. You don't know any of the details of this story. Right away, you want to fan the flames of all of this and tell us that we deserve riots. And I'm going to tell you again, for the umpteenth time, there are the overwhelming majority of poor people in America are white, okay? Simply because it's a numbers game. 89% of the population of this country is white or Oriental, non-black, okay? I don't see white people rioting in areas where there are enormous pockets of white poverty, all right? It's not an answer to the problem. It's not socially acceptable to be burning down communities, to be setting cars on fire, to be putting innocent people's lives in jeopardy who happen to be bystanders who have nothing to do with your grievance. That's not acceptable. And when some jackass like you calls on a talk show and tries to legitimize it and suggest that somehow this is a socially acceptable kind of behavior that we deserve because somebody built an arena on the edge of Overtown, then I would say to you, sir, that you're an asshole, okay? It's 1246 at WIOD, your Super Bowl superhost, supercilious station. You believe that? We deserve riots.
I'm still in shock.
Yeah. Just like all those kids that got killed in Liberty City in 1980 deserved to get killed because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time, and there were a bunch of angry people, okay? They were angry because we had another grievous miscarriage of justice. No question about it. Arthur McDuffie was murdered by police, out of control, okay? Murdered. Brutally, savagely. And they all got off scot-free. And it was a grotesque miscarriage of justice. Just like the ruling by the judge, was it in Houston or Dallas, about the murderer of the two homosexuals?
Dallas, isn't it?
Dallas.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody rioting in the street. I didn't see them rioting. Oh, well, I take that back. There was rioting in San Francisco, and that's just as unacceptable. They were rioting and burning and carrying on like barbarians when Dan White was given a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
And that was just as grotesque and it doesn't make any difference who's doing the rioting. It's not in a supposedly, and I underline the word supposedly, civilized society. It's not acceptable. But the problem is we're not civilized. We're a bunch of barbarians who accept violence as a routine part of life. It's all around us. We revel in it. Most people in this country won't even go to a movie unless it's got at least, half an hour of good violence and gore in it. Yeah. They don't want to be bothered with it.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's socially relevant or somehow might touch you or inspire you or do something meaningful for it, forget that. They want good violence. They want blood and guts and gore and decapitation and body parts because we've been conditioned to it and we accept it like it's normal part of life. It's not. It's sick. Why do you think there's this big thing with professional wrestling again?
Mm-hmm.
So, on the one hand, we like to decry a lot of things. Oh, it's terrible, it's horrendous. And on the other hand, we love it. This is a country that can't make up its mind.
Well, I was watching a few minutes of Channel 7 showed Friday the 13th, Part 3 last Friday night.
Yeah.
We had teenagers with axes in their heads and blood running down their
Sure.
face. No problem at all.
Guaranteed. Box office smash.
Yeah.
Man, guaranteed.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I haven't enjoyed some of those occasionally, but I mean, when you have parts 2 through 3,000, just for the purpose of showing gratuitous violence, then we got a problem somewhere. Everybody's all upset, about sex, we don't want to see body parts, we don't want to see... That's terrible, okay? God only, forbid we should see a naked person or a genital on television because that's so dirty. I mean, this is part of the puritanical backwardness of American society, like a bunch of Neanderthals, like the Pilgrims and worse. At least they had an excuse. What's our excuse today? We don't have an excuse. That is socially unacceptable, okay? But on the same TV show, man, if we have 8,000 body parts, just not those particular body parts, flying in every direction, and blood and guts, and people shooting each other and just ripping each other's brains out and guts, that's great. That's good entertainment.
Well, that's why there's so many...
Wholesome family fun for, the whole family.
Why is this series so successful? Why have they made 6 or 7 parts?
Damn right, because the public sucks it up. That's correct.
Exactly. They
and don't blame the movie makers. They're strictly in it to make money, all right? It's a business. So don't go blaming the messenger. Blame yourselves, because it's like this thing the other day about the kids in the uniforms. And I hear all these whining, limp-wristed parents. Oh, geez, well, our kids are clothes hogs. Well, then instill different values in them. Stop waiting for somebody else to do something, okay? And the problem is that you people are instilling the same warped, twisted values that you've got. This materialistic crap. I got all those real nice cars and everything, but you know something? If I didn't have them, life would go on. I mean, they're nice, and I can afford them, and that's fine, but that's not what my life is all about. Materialism is garbage, okay? And unfortunately, we're going to have another 8 years now of probably the same kind of materialistic crap coming from Washington, right from the top. Grab all you can get. Go with the gusto, all of that crap. And to hell with everybody else. So no question, the world is insane. There's no question about that. And we certainly have grotesque injustices in this country. But the answer, again, is not the kind of thing that we saw last night. This knee-jerk reaction. And was the victim black? Was he white? Was he this? Was he that? That's not the point. The point is, if there's an injustice, let's work to correct it. Let's not go out and try to attack innocent bystanders because we're angry. 1251 at WIOD. If you've ever been turned out...
I know that the Lord even loves Neil Rogers.
1254 at WIOD. If you think we're overreacting about the national implications and about, We've had so many nails in the coffin of this town already that I don't know if there's room for any more. But the final ones have been pounded in. Here's USA Today, which is read coast to coast, okay?
Around the world.
Around the world. Front page today, full-color picture of police officers with the fires burning in the background. And the headline says, Violence Rattles Miami. Super Bowl City struggles with twin crises. And then under are two articles, Miami cops mobilized to keep order about the disturbance last night. And then the other one, bordering on refugee saturation. Cover story. It says, this city preparing for the national scrutiny surrounding Super Bowl week is trying to put its best foot forward, but it's been difficult. Each day since December, 200 Nicaraguan refugees have arrived in a heart-rendering, it says, search for a new home. Heart-rendering. I wonder who wrote this. But anyway, so we really are doing it, boy. We are really doing it. See, very, very simple solution to the problem about refugees or illegal aliens or whatever they are. I mean, these people haven't been processed. They're just here.
Yeah,
okay?
That's correct.
Very simple solution, and that is to, hire a fleet of buses and to take them back where they came from. Take them back to Brownsville or wherever they crossed the border and say, hey, this is your problem. And to spread the word around that the inn is not open here. There's lots of land in between, okay, in between Texas and Florida. I know it comes as a great shock, but there's Arkansas and Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama and Georgia and all these other places, okay? This community just doesn't have like an endless supply of resources for refugees.
Is it my imagination, or are they obsessed with Miami? This is the answer?
Well, of course, because they've been catered to here. This has been the area that has, not resisted this. It's been allowed to go on and on and on. We have a Spanish-speaking population. And, the word is out that, hey, this is a haven for, Spanish-speaking refugees. So everybody come on down. Ooh. And the politicians here don't have the balls to say, hey, we're not going to allow this. We'll just put a fence up at the border. We'll do something, but this just can't go on. The federal government can't keep inflicting this upon it. And of course, not only do they inflict it upon us, but they don't pay for it. They don't pick up the bill for it.
Not a penny. Not a penny.
Here we are sitting raising money for the Camillus House, which is a very worthy thing that we do, and we raised almost $40,000 for it, but that's a drop in the bucket. These are Americans who are out there on the streets. And some maniac somewhere is of the opinion, or a group of them, that, hey, we can just let everybody in the world come pouring in here and don't worry about the consequences, and we take care of everybody. You see, this evolutionary process in swarms of refugees during a period of industrial growth.
Yeah. I understand.
But we don't have industrial growth now. The Japanese have taken all of it away from us, plus they're buying up the whole damn country, okay? We don't have that. We're the biggest debtor nation in the world. Where are the jobs going to come from? People don't understand the implications of this. And the Pope, who's busy smoking dope or whatever, he don't understand the implications of this. When people continue reproducing like rabbits, and there are no jobs for these people, and over 50% of the population in Mexico and a lot of these other Latin American countries is under the age of 15, where in God's name are these people going to work? Who's going to feed them? So to hell with family planning or things of that. Oh, man, those are all communists, aren't they? Naturally, those family planning people, Planned Parenthood and all those other horrendous subversive organizations. And God forbid, birth control. The more the merrier, because, hey, send them to Miami. They'll take care of them. So we get it again, man. We get more abuse in this community. We get dumped on and dump on ourselves. And it's like this community has got a death wish. You look at other places, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I talk about going to Hawaii and how damn hard it is to get there, and it takes forever. And they're flourishing, man. They just got more money than they know what to do with. And the same with Vegas. When unless you're coming from California on a freeway, it takes forever to get to Vegas for most of the populated parts of this country, and they're doing a giant business. Conventions and tourists and millions and billions of dollars. They're exploiting their natural advantages. Are we doing that? No. We're just busy destroying ourselves here and having a hell of a good time doing it. It is
unbelievable.
Okay, April is standing by with the 1 o'clock WIOD news. We'll come back at 1:05. Steve with open phones at 2. And then, of course, on your Super Bowl super host station, it's Super Sports Talk at 6:05. No. It's 1:05 at WIOD. Hey, the show must go on. You know what they say? Anyway, here we are, and we have an hour to go. Open line in Dade County, 751-9463. 751 WIOD, and our first call this hour is in Miami. Hello.
Hello, Alan.
What?
Neil.
Yeah.
Yes, no, I'm calling about yesterday's show. Excuse me. The talk radio, the movie. I did not know for the life of me what happened to Alan Burke until you told me yesterday that he was murdered and they made a movie about his life.
No, not Alan Burke, sir. Alan Berg, with a G on the end.
Alan Burke, who is that?
Oh, sir, have a wonderful life. Okay, 106 at WIOD. We have an opening in Dade. If you move real fast to fill up that void there, 751 WIOD, Carroll City. Hello.
Yes, how are you, Neil?
Okay.
That's good. How you doing, Glenn?
He's, I don't know, he's wandering somewhere.
Oh. And Neil, I wanted to talk a little bit about the thing that went on last night in the Overtown. I've listened to you so many times, and I've continued to listen to you because I enjoy you so much. But you know something, Neil, what ticks me off is that you have a lot of young, I don't want to make this a black issue or color issue at all, but you have a lot of young black men that come up. You have some of them that are 15 years old. They choose to put a beeper on their pocket, and then they choose to go sell drugs instead of writing an essay or trying to get a grade that improves or whatever, getting a diploma in school. Now, this is something that hurt our neighborhood so bad.
Yeah, so why is it tolerated? Why does it go on all the time?
This is something that has happened, and it continues to happen because we have a lot of people that are afraid to stand up and say, hey, we will not have this anymore.
See, a lot of the, there's tremendous racism in the country. I would never deny that, but we got a lot of separate issues here, and to muddy them all together and lump them all together is unfair, and it doesn't do anything to, give you any perspective on it. The attitudes that exist in much of our black community are screwed up.
Yes, they are.
Absolutely screwed up. For example, the young black women, the teenagers, 14, 15, 16-year-old girls, who get pregnant and then insist on having the children because to them having a baby is this big thing. I mean, I've seen lots of programs about this, and I'm appalled by it. 15-year-olds are not parents, okay?
You're right.
And then, we have all of these homes. We keep hearing about all the homes where the father has left, and here's the mother with all of these little babies and everything. What kind of family structure is that, okay? That's insanity.
You're exactly right.
That's craziness.
You're exactly right.
So, we can keep screaming about, the white people and how bad they are and the white cops and about prejudice and racism. That's a whole separate issue.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get on here like Daffy McCallum used to and say all these cornball things about how black people have to lift themselves up by the bootstraps. I mean, that's just a condescending bunch of crap. But nonetheless, if you want to get somewhere in this life, man, you got to change your own priorities and your own attitudes, and just being a jive-ass moron doesn't get the job done.
Exactly. Neil, okay, say for instance myself. I work every day, Neil. I have a wife. I have a son. We're expecting another child. I recently bought a house. Now, I don't want to make myself sound like I'm better than anybody, but Neil, I am trying to help myself.
Yeah.
And I have received help from other people because they recognize the fact that I'm trying to help myself. And for the life of me, I can't understand why this isn't, other people can't seem to, that I talk with, and I tell them about this. I preach a very positive note to them when I do talk with them. And I try not, like I say, I try to pass on the positive note, and I wish that they would heed it and take it, and take it into their lives. But, it just perturbs me to see that when something happens, you got a lot of bad people just waiting around for something to happen, a shooting death of a controversial shooting death or whatever of a
that we still don't know very much about. Even now, here it's 10 after 1. It happened yesterday at 5:45, and we still don't know all that much about it.
Exactly. And this is what they're waiting for, something like this to happen so they can come out and really, and let out all this anger and stuff or something that they didn't take, they didn't apply themselves to conducting what I should say, a proper life, I should say. I mean, Neil, it's not that hard. If you want to get the things that you have to get, it's hard to get those things because you got to put some hard.
Yeah, well, you got to put in
it.
some effort. You see, it takes no effort to walk around with a chip on your shoulder
Yeah.
and be a jive-ass moron and a douchebag, and just be a useless human being taking up space that a worthwhile person could be taken up. The skin color doesn't make any difference. Now, I've lived long enough that I know in every group, as corny as it sounds, in every group there are the good, the bad, the indifferent, the in-between, and, it doesn't make any difference whether they're black, white, or Hispanic, or Anglo, or Jews, or Christian, whatever they are. People are people, okay? That's the bottom line. And just to constantly walk around with a chip on your shoulder like the world owes you something, I got news for you, man. Those people can wait forever, and they're never going to get what they think somebody owes them. It just isn't going to happen.
Exactly. And another thing, the black businesses that are in the neighborhood, they have to take this garbage. This is just absolute garbage. Their places have to be looted and raided and all of this stuff. This because guys selling drugs outside of your house and all of this, outside of the businesses or whatever, this is what makes the whole neighborhood decline. The neighborhood just declines and decline and decline. And you got, it's an awful frustrating situation that you just can't really, it's so many things that you have to get into and talk about, but it's just frustrating, Neil. Really
I appreciate your, you made a lot of sense, and I appreciate it.
Okay, you take care, Neil.
You too.
Okay, bye.
It's 11 after 1 at WIOD. We've got a lot of lines open now. I guess he was a little bit too serious, too heavy for most of this audience, but what he said made a lot of sense and was refreshingly honest.
Yeah, and if you had told me that we would be discussing this in mid-January 1989, I would have just said, no way.
Pathetic.
We're going to be discussing another disturbance in Miami. It's impossible.
It's not a disturbance. It's part of the ongoing pattern of life in this town.
It's embarrassing.
And one of the things that crossed my mind last night when I heard on the radio going home after I saw that movie, and I turn on the radio and I hear this, and one of the first things that comes to mind is, how about going to work tomorrow morning? Are we going to have that kind of a situation? And of course, luckily, it didn't get that out of hand, but we have had that happen.
That's correct.
And 6 schools closed in that area today. Just how much more of this are we going to tolerate before the powers that be in this community say enough is enough? And, big part of the problem is, in this country, everybody's angry about crime, okay? Outraged, and we got all these crime shows and, the FBI shows and find this criminal, and everybody's PO'd and vigilante justice, but nobody wants it to build any jails, in their neighborhood or anywhere, within 5,000 miles of where they live. Now, unless you build prisons and put the aberrant people away, we're going to continue living in a slaughterhouse. Every one of these douchebags who's out there, and I don't care how young they are or how petty it is, every one of these idiots that's out there peddling drugs ought to be in jail. It reminds me of these things where we read about the people who, get their license suspended 15 times and 20 times and, wind up killing people and all these things that they do. And you ask, how in God's name did they ever get the license back?
Well, one of the things when 48 Hours did a show in Miami a few months ago, you remember that? It ran on a Thursday night. And one of the things, the main thing I learned from that show when they went to the courts in Miami, you have to be convicted of selling drugs like 5 times.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Before you're going to go to jail.
Terrific.
Is that incredible?
Yeah.
That's a fact. That's an absolute fact.
So how many, lives did they give you the opportunity to screw up before they're going to put you away? A whole bunch of them, obviously. You can screw up a whole bunch of people.
5 times.
Maybe even kill a few through, which isn't direct. It's indirect way of murder. We have an open line in Broward, 524-WIOD. It's 113. I want to tell you, 117 at WIOD. We got a mobile in Broward. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Is this Neil?
I think so.
Hi, Neil. My name is Ivan. I'm a first-time caller. I'm calling from my car somewhere in Carroll City. First, I think it's a great show. I just moved down here from New York in July, and I think it's one of the best talk shows.
Are you there? Yeah, I'm still here, Ivan.
One of the things I want to talk about, besides the situation in Overtown, you have the situation with John Thompson at Georgetown walking out and trying to dispute these rules as Proposition 42, where all they're asking these athletes to get financial aid, to get into college, is a 700 on your SAT scores.
Yeah.
Which is basically they give you 400 for sitting down.
Yeah.
To get a 700, you have to get
I want to tell you
correct.
something, Ivan. I'm so disgusted with collegiate athletics. Maybe they ought to ban all collegiate athletics for about 10 years and go back to the original purpose of colleges and universities, and that is higher education. That's what it's supposed to be all about, not building dynasties, football dynasties and basketball dynasties. What the hell has that got to do with college, okay? Why don't they, all those jocks, all those morons out there, why don't they let them go out and play semi-pro ball and, call it what it is and pay them some bucks and, make some kind of a minor league like we used to have so many of them in baseball, before most of them disappeared. Why don't they do that? Instead of wasting all these scholarships and all this space that real people who want to learn something, get an education, could be taking up that space.
If they can't meet the requirements to get into school, they shouldn't, no matter how good they are.
That is correct.
It's just a waste of everybody's
And no matter
money.
how good an athlete they are, if they're taking basket weaving 102 and physical ed 103, then they have no business being in there, okay?
Exactly. Thank you for the time. I appreciate it, and I will keep on listening.
Okay, good talking to you.
Goodbye.
119 at WIOD. We have an opening in Broward. Boy, we're getting really serious today, aren't we? We're really heavy-duty today, boy.
Finally got your act together.
That lady up there who wants me to get my act together, it's together, baby, okay? At least for one day. We are so serious today that it's getting almost ponderous, all right?
Well, who would have thought this day would be this way? I mean, yesterday, who would have dreamed that it would be this way?
How long have you lived here?
Yeah, you're right.
You haven't lived here long enough to know that at any moment's notice this town can be a burning inferno or just some kind of a total nut house? Let's get serious, okay?
Yeah, I should know. You're right. I'm getting used to it.
We have an open line in Boca, which, of course, is par for the course. They could be burning the entire county down up there in Palm Beach. And 278-9463 in Boca Raton, 278-WIOD. And let's go to Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yeah.
Long-time Steve, listener. And when you made the switch, over to IOD, I just started picking up and liking your show right away, and I like Bird also.
Great.
And I'll try not to tinkle, and I'll try not to be so serious, right?
Okay. Let's keep it light, as they say.
Right. I like to keep it light. Last night, as the wife and I were watching the news on Channel 7, and at first they weren't saying what really happened, right? So I said to my wife, I said, you know what? Let's hurry up and catch Ann Bo, because I know Ann Bo will have the news. But more than anything on top of that, to the people who live in Overtown, in whatever way, it's so unfortunate that, like what you're saying, they can't understand things like the Miami Arena and Metro Rail, all of the positive things, the Omni, that the Anglo community has provided them in terms of getting a job, and now they're going to let these people come in, these Reagan's cousins, and all they're going to do is slip in and take all of these jobs because, again, they prefer to side with the people who would just say, the hell with it, let's just burn something and not think about it.
Yeah, that really solves the problem. Burn down a bunch of your own businesses like they did back in '80, and then, of course, you have nowhere to go to work, and you put your own neighbors out of work. That really accomplishes a lot.
And they still haven't recovered from 1980.
That is correct.
And it's sad that it's that way, but in all honesty, I'm really not upset because I feel better that I listen to WIOD and I can understand that there are two sides to every issue, and in more than it being two sides, there's a side that we can all share in, And I'm glad that I'm glad that you're putting pressure on that Steve Kane, because I got a little tired of the Jewish debates and the dog.
Yeah, we'll put a lot of pressure on Steve, man. In fact, we told him that if he brings another rabbi in here, we're going to have another circumcision right on the spot.
Maybe he could talk about something else today. Hopefully. I think you guys are pretty great.
Okay.
Great.
Have a great life. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And now you know the rest of the story.
122 at WIOD. We have an open line in Dade if you move like lightning. Just like a beehive of activity is in your pants at 751-9463. While you're doing 26 at WIOD, our next call is from, you're going to pass out on the floor when you hear this.
Uh-oh.
You are going to do cartwheels on the ceiling.
Is it time for me to go to the programming office?
Lakeland.
Hello, Neil.
Yeah.
Help, I'm having a radio emergency up here.
Are you really?
Yeah, I moved up here.
Well, we're having a radio emergency here. I thought for a minute there we had a call from Lakeland.
I am calling from Lakeland.
Where are you, like at the payphone at ABC Liquors?
No, I'm calling from my office. I just moved my company up here.
All right, now when you look out the window, can you see Dog and Suds? That's the question.
No, I look out my window and I see a Union 76 station.
Oh, that's good. Well, you must be able to look out and see the Polk County Jail, too, there, right?
Yeah, but the radio up here is really, really lame. I've been listening to Lassiter now for a couple of days.
Yeah, that gives new meaning to lame,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's got a new little, the new line that he's using now on everybody is "Get off my phone, you jerk." That's
Oh, well, he used up all of my material. Now he's going to use Steve's by way of Bob Grant, yeah.
Yeah, well, he got caught using unbelievable, so now he's using unreal.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I was wondering, too, I think that a lot of the, like J&O gets all the radio rejects, but I think that the television over here, too, I mean, we got Frank Robertson in Tampa and Glenn Rinker up in Orlando. And,
oh, yeah.
I think they
Do you know that Glenn Rinker sits on a 10-foot stool to do that newscast? It's amazing. He's only about 2 feet tall.
It's pretty interesting. But the radio, it really... I caught part of your show yesterday in Lake Wales. You were coming in, I guess, a little bit of a skip.
In fact, they were going to have a Florida network. They were going to have Bob Mayer and Glenn Rinker on together to do news and briefs, but they changed their mind.
Yeah, but the radio is really lame. They got a local
Well, what do you expect up there? It's in Lakeland, sir. It's in Yahooville. It's the end of the world.
Yeah, but I thought that between Tampa and
even in upstate New York that I rave about, the radio up there sucks. I mean, the worst.
Really?
Oh, terrible.
Oh, what a shocker.
Awful.
We have a radio swap shop here on weekends. It's really interesting.
Well, listen, maybe Larry Kent can go to work up there. You can find room for him.
Sometimes I can pick you up, though. It's like a breath of fresh air.
No, in Lakeland?
I think it's right on the
Get out of here.
border.
You're nuts.
Yeah, every once in a while. There's a Yahoo station, WSUN, on 620. It bleeds over.
Yeah, I know. It's a hillbilly station.
Yeah, but occasionally I can catch a skip. They're like around Frostproof or Lake Wales in the south end of Polk County.
Oh, Frostproof. We're big in Frostproof.
Yeah,
man.
we can pick you up there every once in a while.
This is the only Frostproof show in America.
So I have an outrageous restaurant for you if you'd like me to give it to you, sir.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Memorial Boulevard.
Oh, yeah, that's for the Crystal.
What, is that the name of the restaurant?
No, that's the street.
Oh.
Right across from Steak and Shake is a restaurant called CDB's.
Oh, yeah.
It's Italian. It's an Italian
It
restaurant.
sounds like a good Italian name to me.
It
CDB.
is outrageous.
I've been wanting to try that. I've been, my first week up here, I was predominantly hanging around Steak and Shake.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Well, you were hanging around Steak and Shake?
Yeah.
Not eating anything, just kind of hanging around, huh?
Well, it's like the local hangout.
I think you spent too much time in Miami, sir. Loitering is prohibited in Lakeland and punishable by death.
Well, yeah, that's true, because, at nighttime, you should, after 8 o'clock when they roll up the sidewalks.
Yeah.
And there's 3 police to every, citizen strolling about the bars.
Yeah, see, one good thing up there, they have, it's not really written anywhere, but it's just understood. It's like a curfew after 8 p.m., and anybody that's out on the streets will be shot on sight. They don't discriminate up there in Lakeland, man. They just go around, and anybody, just happens to be out, that bing, they're gone. That's why the population's never grown too much up there.
Well, they had a shake-up in the city council here, I understand, and they got some new blood in here, and they got rid of the Bob Cox that was in control for a while here, and they're looking forward to a lot of growth in the area.
Oh, yeah.
Like the moss that grows on the wires. And
yeah, or kind of like a giant tumor on your lip, yeah. Okay, well, listen, it's been a real education.
Yeah, I just thought I'd give you a little bit of a Lassiter report. It's really ponderous now.
Yeah.
All day on that station over there, WFLA, they've been, discussing what happened in Miami last night.
Well, guess what we've been discussing?
Yeah, the same thing.
That is correct.
I've been listening for about 40 minutes.
See, I mean, even though this is an entertainment show, we aren't totally like ostriches with our head in the sand. Every once in a while, we pull our head out just to see what's going on.
I want to think about getting maybe a phone line installed from my office to your station so I can have...
It's like those old guys in Century Village. Every 6 months, they pull their head out to see what's going on, and they look down, and not much, and they put it back where it belongs, you know? Well, listen, it's great hearing from you.
Yeah, well, whenever I get down to South Florida, I hope I, can listen to you, but I miss you.
Okay, say hi to all my pals at ABC Liquors, okay?
Okay, will do.
Okay,
All
see you
right.
later.
Incredible.
And Henry Burrow sends his best, too, okay? He's got a lot of pals at ABC Liquors. What the, boy, Henry, man, I'm telling you, you got to watch out for him.
Wow.
He had a bottle of Dom that guy brought in this morning, and I got news for you, boy. Talk about happy talk news. I mean, we got refugees, we got riots, we got dead people, shootings, and drugs and everything.
He offers me a drink at 9:30 in the morning. That's serious. I'm serious.
Yeah, a little bit of that bubbly, boy.
I said, Henry,
on your supercilious Super Bowl superhost Super Bomb station, okay? It's 1:32. We have an open line in Palm Beach. You're going to have to really move fast to get that because they go like hotcakes in Palm Beach. 655-9463, Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil. How are you? And hello, Glenn.
Yeah.
I'm calling from Miami. I call on the Palm Beach line. Real briefly, first of all, I hope that guy from Lakeland does not put a direct line into you because he would become chronic, I can tell.
Yeah, you can just get that feeling that he's going to be so desperate up there that any touch with... Although I don't know why he's calling Miami to be in touch with reality, because this isn't it.
Really, you got that right, my friend. Anyway, first of all, I want you to know that you're right on. I know that you're not doing issues much, but how can you avoid it once in a while?
Well, unless you're a total dodo bird, I mean, you can't avoid it. You can't. There's nowhere to escape. It's all around us here, man. We're like drowning in a sea of manure here.
Really, it's pretty mungy. Listen, I wanted to just bring up a point about yesterday's show, and I don't mean to. I just wanted another point of view because we all remember when this movie came out, and by the way, I'm what my office people classify as an obnoxious agnostic. And when that Last Temptation movie came out, all the controversy that surrounded it.
Yeah.
And basically, people that went to see it just for the sake of the art, like people might go to see talk radio for the sake of just seeing a movie, not to see the Bible on talk radio.
Mm-hmm.
We all said, well, it's just a story. Is Jesus Christ something that is off limits?
Yeah.
Or not, and we all decided, well, probably it's something that, in our opinion, was not off limits, that you can go ahead and, it's probably fantasy in the beginning anyway, so what the hell?
Yeah.
Well, talk radio, again, is just, if we just treat it as...
Sir,
I'm not saying
sir,
it's a good movie.
it is garbage. It's garbage. It's as bad as any movie you would ever want to be. It's boring, it's terminal, it's tedious, it is monotonous, it's one-dimensional, it is just, the acting is tragic, it's horrible. It's
but you
bad.
see the point I'm making, though.
Yeah.
In other words, just because we see it...
All right, now listen, are you calling on our dime or yours?
This is my dime.
Because I got to do a break. Will you hold on?
My dime. Go right ahead. Neil, you're the greatest. I'll call you again when I have a shot.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Bye. So in other words, his dime, but he's not going to stay on the line. Okay, 134 at WIOD. I want to tell you, Tom evidently was hard up for a column, and he figured he would rip this thing. Oh, are we back? 138. Tom's a good friend. It says every now and then Tom has got to do a gratuitous thing and now that he's not working for Cox anymore, now he can really go crazy, see? Because when he was at the Miami News, he had, although even then, I will say this, he had the balls to rip the hell out of the company, and deservedly so most of the time. But are you going to talk about this?
This? I hadn't even seen this. No.
You hadn't seen it?
No.
See, you got to start getting with it. You got to start getting up early. You got to hear this show from the beginning. You got to review last night's tapes of Sports Talk so you can rip into Joe. Hank. You got to get with what's
Joe's
going on.
ripping into me.
What do you do? Sleep until noon? A man of leisure now?
I had listen to this. I had an 8 o'clock business appointment at Turnberry. I had breakfast with a client and got food poisoning, and I've been in bed ever since.
That should be an omen. Now, have you seen Torch Song Trilogy?
No, but I hear it's great.
Excellent. Tremendous.
I hear it's great. I've been trying to get over there to see it. I'll probably see it over the weekend.
Yeah. Go up to Sunrise to the Fox Theater, get every 900-year-old bag in the world.
I know, yeah.
Just a sea of blue hair.
I saw the lair of the white worm up at the Fox.
Did you?
Yes.
The white worm was at the Fox
last
night, as a matter of fact. But anyway, so you can read Tom's column there. And
well,
of course, here's the entire
book
here. The
I get the
book
gist of it.
What?
Sports Talk.
Oh, you want to see what they were? Boy, this is a gacky, man. He's starting to get a real...
I want to ask you a question
pushy.
about this column, Joe. Now, Tom sort of, he kind of says we're kind of perpetrating a hoax on the public, with this IDs that we're running.
No, we're not kind of perpetrating a hoax. We are. We never said we're carrying the game.
Well, my question is,
we never promised we're carrying it. We hinted we were carrying it.
No. Well, what did we say? We're your Super Bowl.
Super host. We're your Super Bowl, super host, supercilious station.
Yeah.
We acted as a host.
Well, my question
Which means nothing, okay? Why did they pay for the rights to do that, okay?
We didn't pay.
Zeta runs his promo.
They didn't? Who told us that? Somebody lied to us. I think Roger told us that we
Well,
paid
what you're
for the
saying
rights.
is just what Tom's saying in his column.
Oh, no, I said there's a lot of truth in what he writes, but he compares it to the Channel 4 Don't Worry, Be Happy. There's no comparison. I mean, I grant you that promo that we play, the one that goes on for 60 seconds, it has at least a quarter of football in there, I mean, it's great hearing Rick Weaver, but it's like a whole quarter of football, I mean, a 60-second promo is too long. It's too long, and it's on too often. But it's not in the same league as Don't Worry, Be Moronic.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But you know what they say, it doesn't matter what you say as long as you spell my name right.
Yeah.
So
I know what they say, what goes around cometh around.
That's what
they say.
Okay,
WQAM, what demographics? They don't have any audience. I don't know what you're talking about. Their numbers at night, hour by hour. Wait till you hear these numbers. QAM, one thing, if you can't be good, be consistent. I want you to listen to I'll give you all the numbers from 5 a.m. till 1 a.m., okay? 1, 0.4, 0.4, 0.6, 10, 0.6, 0.5, 0.4, 0.5, 0.7, 0.7, 0.7, Point 4, point 5, 1162018, point 5, point 5. So between 8 p.m. and 11 p.m., they're doing this humongous number with nobody. I mean, 25 to 54, they got 1,800 people. Now, at WIOD in the same time, wouldn't it be embarrassing if we had nobody? No, we know that isn't the case. We know we're just massive, at least 10. Where are they? Okay, so like 6 to 8, we got a 4, 4, and a 3 in those 2 hours, 12 plus. 25 to 54, you've got, look at this, men, 10,500, then 6,600, and they're talking like 50, and they could rent people, they could rent the Holiday Inn. So I wouldn't worry about it, okay?
Don't worry. Be happy.
Now, you did hear about that new talk show that's coming on at 6, though, didn't you? Okay, it's 142.
I'll ask you my question another day.
What was your question, bro?
Oh, the one I tried to ask about 8 times, you mean? That one?
Yeah.
The one I tried over and over and over to ask? That question?
No, in fact, we got a new gambling show from 6 to 8 with Larry King is going to be the host, and he's going to be paying for all his bets with checks. It's going to be tremendous. Okay, it's 18 till 2 at WIOD, and let's take one in Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil?
Yeah.
My name's Don.
Yeah, Don.
Hello, Bird. How are you? I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller. And I listened to your first hour today, and I thought it was probably one of the most honest hours that I've ever heard.
Well, this town needs some more honesty. We need fewer politicians who are pandering to various ethnic groups. We need fewer Chamber of Commerce people who are trying to, put a sugar-coated something around this community and cover up the problems we really have here. We need honesty, and we don't have it in this town.
Well, I'm so glad to hear you say that, because I'm in the ladies' swimwear business. And just briefly, I just wanted to give you a rundown. I've been down here since 1976. In 1976 in Miami Beach, I had 21 accounts. Today I have 2.
Yeah.
Part of that is from the Haitians coming in back in 1980, 81. And the 2 accounts I have there, as far as credit, they're almost gone. As far as Fort Lauderdale, which you were lambasting, you were absolutely right.
Yeah.
I've gone from 12 accounts down to 3. And yet I go to
I'll tell you one thing. If I were you, if you want to really invest in the future, if you're going to do business on the beach and in Fort Lauderdale, instead of swimwear, I would think maybe Depend undergarments would be a much,
I think you're probably right. But then I turn around and I look at Daytona Beach, where they have really tried to get some of the customers in there, and I've gone from 4 accounts up to 14 accounts.
Yeah.
And
I wonder if that's
just
by
like
accident.
we're trying to drive everybody out of here, and it's just driving me nuts, and nobody gets involved, and now we've got the Nicaraguans coming in, and I have nothing against the Nicaraguans, but I turn around and I say,
it doesn't make any sir, it doesn't make any difference who they are or where they're coming from. It's just gotten to the point of ridiculous. This community has got a limited capacity, and we just can't continue taking unlimited numbers of refugees and expecting somehow to find the housing and clothing and jobs. I mean, it's just, again, can't go on forever. And in spite of that, most of the politicians just give a little lip service. Well, we're sending a telegram to the president. We're going to do this. And they don't do anything, okay?
Well, I turn around and I look at some of these people who have gone out of business, and I say, why don't they get involved? I mean, those are the people who have been affected dramatically. I've been affected dramatically, and I try to stay a little bit involved. But the politicians down here obviously don't give a damn.
I remember Governor Bob was down there in the Keys welcoming the Mariel refugees as they got off the boats, bringing the criminals and the mental defectives out of the institutions that Castro had put in the boats with them, and, practically leading them arm in arm, hand in hand up the highway to South Florida.
Oh, I know what you're saying, and I'll just say this very, very briefly, is that, having been in the business as long as I have, it used to be that maybe 75% of our business was done in South Florida, being Miami, Miami Beach, on up the coast. Today, it's all being done on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And it's a very frustrating thing, and, I don't want to belabor the point, but...
Well, I don't know what they're thinking about, okay, because you know as well as I do, you've obviously been here for a period of time, and you remember the days when this town was alive, and, and you've seen the closing of major restaurants, and you've seen, like, the Castaways and all these other formerly great hotels that are now either razed to the ground or sitting there trying to be sold as condos for $25,000 or anything they can get. I mean, this town has gone to hell in a handbasket. Nobody wants to admit it. That astonishing Sunday a few years ago when a Herald woke up and got an inspiration, and on a Sunday they had that big front page story about all these restaurants that have closed up and the beach is a toilet and all. And then, of course, we hear nothing more for another 10 years. Nobody wants to talk about what's really happening to this town. This town's got the potential to put Vegas and Atlantic City and Hawaii. It's got a potential to put them all to sleep if we really wanted to exploit it and take advantage of it. And instead, we turn the keys of the city over to a bunch of Neanderthal redneck yahoos like Bob Cox and like Xavier Suarez and Steve Clark, and we just let them turn this place into a toilet.
Well, you're absolutely right, and thank God you're saying something about it over the radio. But
well,
I'm trying to get involved as much as I possibly can, and I'm just going nuts right now myself as to what's happening down here, and I just hope that a lot of other people who listen to you.
Well, just keep one thing in mind, my friend. It's not going to get any better, okay? I'm just being honest with you.
I hope that's not true.
It is true. I'm being honest with you. It's not going to get any better.
Well, I know you've done everything you possibly can. I've got to keep my optimism, saying that somehow a lot of people are going to get involved in something.
Okay. All right. A lot of people will get involved. It'll get a lot better. Okay.
Okay.
I told you, it's not going to happen, but it'll make you happy.
Well, it's not going to make me happy. I hope it works.
Okay.
Okay.
147 at WIOD. I mean, there are those you can tell the truth, or you can tell people what they want to hear. And he's a good guy, but obviously he can't come to grasp with reality. And it is difficult to cope with. The fact that you live in the midst of so many people they just don't care. They're not interested. Don't you understand? They do not care. You can beat them over the head with a baseball bat, and they still aren't going to care. You get a hold of 357 Magnum to their brain. They are still not going to care, okay? It's just the nature of the people in this area. They are takers. They're not givers. They're people who are waiting to die. They're people who are waiting to go back to wherever they came from. It's a mess.
I'm reminded of when we had the tents under the overpass.
That is correct.
I-95.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of the same thing.
That's why they called it Tent City.
Sort of the same thing today. They're just in a different location.
That's correct.
Gosh.
But you know what they say, what goes around. Okay, it's 1:48, 12 till 2, and we'll be right back. 152 at WIOD. Don't forget, Steve has open phones today. Am I right about that?
Did we
keep
confirm
it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's touch and go. In other words, if Spike doesn't find out about it. Okay. All right, let's go to Miramar. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, Neil, I was wondering about one thing about this deal yesterday.
I can't hear you, sir. You're like off in the distant past.
Can you hear me a little better now?
Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering about this deal yesterday. What do you think about the way the police reacted to it, just letting it go on, saying that they weren't responsible for what was going on in there without trying to stop it?
What did you want them to do?
Or use a little force. That's what they're there for, to protect people.
Well, how much?
However much it takes.
Yeah. However much it takes? You want them to shoot a bunch more people?
If it got to that, yes. But I think if they showed a little force...
Oh, so in other words, when people throw rocks and bottles, we ought to start shooting them? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying they should do more than run away.
Okay, sir. Have a wonderful life, and I can easily see why you live in Miramar. It's 1:53 at WIOD. Look at this board's almost like blank. I know we've only got about 6 or 7 minutes, but there are 3 stinking calls left on here, so it's obvious that we really inspired the audience to greater heights and really got the message across today, right? I mean, not that we're going to get more than, we won't even get the 3 on, but it's just amazing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Miami, hello.
Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
First-time caller, great show. I've got a way, if there's a disturbance that breaks out tonight, to quell it. We mobilize all the hookers, shove them into the area. They'll be so busy making love that nobody will worry about burning names.
Okay, sir, you're a great American, and call us again in about 3 years, okay? Boy, I'll tell you, why do I get, after the last break, we should never take another call, okay? I mean, when things have been going relatively well and we had a few rational people, why should we ever take another call after the last 4 or 5 minutes? We should just do our closing epilogue.
And there's some little
Is that what it is at the end?
Yeah, of course it is. And this would be the epilogue period. And there's a couple things I wanted to hear anyway.
No, I don't mean, no, I'm not talking about songs. Come on.
Now, this is the epilogue, though, if you want to call it that.
We could read from, as opposed to the epidermis. Or the epis hour.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Well, what is there left to say? I mean, I've said it all and I've said it many times before over the last 13 long, godforsaken years in this town, and I don't see anything changing. It's the same morass as, and I do not delude myself into believing that I'm going to change anything, because I'm not. I mean, tangible things like we raised that $40,000 or close to it for Camilla's house was great.
Mm-hmm.
It was rewarding because it was being used well and all of that. But, so you can do something tangible on that order. But as far as making any dramatic change in a town like this where nobody cares, you can't do it. If this was a town where the people were really involved and they were highly motivated and they were civic-minded and they were activist instead of being actively apathetic, then you can do almost anything. You like, when Jerry Williams did the thing in Boston with the seatbelts?
Active people.
But this isn't Boston. This is like a place where you don't live here, you vegetate. They hook up a machine to you and they register if there's just a little, like that, the life machine where it's just beeping. Oh, yeah, all of the calls coming in are morons, so it's not worth it. No, I'm not taking any of these idiots. Like I said, after the last break from now on, we'll just handle it on our own, so to speak, unless there's some brilliant call waiting, right?
See, it's just like, yesterday I was talking to Stan about that story I saw on CNN from Iceland about the plastic bags and the paper bags. See, that got the people in Iceland foaming at the mouth. They were just going crazy. That's what it would take here. If they put a tax on your plastic bags.
The rest of the world looks at our society with all the violence and the shooting and the obsession with guns and all this, and they think we're crazy. They think we're absolutely nuts. And in London, for example, if somebody gets killed with a gun, it's a big story.
Yeah.
And they still don't understand why most of the police, there are some that do, but most of the police there still don't carry guns.
Don't they have something like 20 people killed a year or something?
Oh, I mean,
30?
The number is ridiculous.
It's incredible.
It's almost
non-existent. In the whole country,
We kill more people in a good month in Dade County than they kill in a whole year in England, okay?
Yeah.
And yet you people are conditioned into believing that this is the way things are supposed to be. And I hate to sound like I'm paraphrasing that Howard Beale thing in Network, but that movie was loaded with truth about American society and their obsession with television and their mindlessness. And look how much worse it's gotten since that movie came out. That was 13 years ago.
Right.
And now almost every other TV show is another one of these inside story,
edition.
Whatever the hell the names are. They're all the same thing. They're all tabloid sensationalism, yellow journalism, because that's what the public is knee-deep into, man. They're up to their ears in it. That's all they want, because it's tremendous escape. And I realize that a lot of things in the real world are very unpleasant, but you can't escape forever. You can't just put blinders on like a horse and never look around and see the reality of the world that you're living in. I mean, see, the problem in this country is we're so juvenile, we're so childish that we can't live up to coping with reality. It's like these people that are so insecure, like that story about the thing, with the blue eyes and all, and the prejudice. Who the hell cares? You can't live your lives for what other people think. You got to stop worrying about that, okay? And that's the problem, man. We got about 99 and 9/10% of the people in this country are conformists.
Yeah.
They just want to do what everybody else does. How many times have I said, like in fashion, okay? If the women tomorrow started walking around with burlap sacks on, if some maniac designer said, hey, this is the new fashion, I guarantee you that there'd be 50 million women the next day who'd be out there shopping for burlap sacks.
Why do you people want to be reproductions?
Yeah, you want to be clones.
Why do you want to be reproductions?
Oh, I want to be stamped out like a cookie cutter, just like the thing about the kids in school with the uniforms, so they can all look exactly alike and be good little obedient clones of each other. That's not what life is all about. Life is about a little bit of individual thinking and behavior.
Be your own person.
Anyway, I think we really solved all the problems of the world today. And now tomorrow we're going to solve the problems of the medical profession and the legal profession. Call up Mike Siegel. Get him on the phone, okay? Tell him we got it licked. Yeah.
You finally got your act together.
Yeah.
Great.
Tomorrow we're going to go back to doing a show, okay? No more of this. Let's save this for Steve.
Hopefully.
Now, who are these guys on work release out there in the hallway? Who are those guys? Are they Steve's guests today? Does he have guests?
No.
Maybe. What is that maybe? How can I promote the show when we don't know what's going on? Okay, a little quick message. Sarhoun is trying. He says Sarhoun. I thought he had a new Palestinian producer in there or something. Anyway, Steve is coming along next with whatever God only knows he's going to have, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 10. Stay cool, stay calm, have a great life, and may the good news be yours.